can't hear nothing else. Tonight ain't the night, knowing the price. Pay it off with my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call them Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. Flex on occasion. It's the strangest of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. Them chariots coming invasion since the creation. War, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bombs dropping, buddy, cause it's biblical. Start shit, now it's time to finish. Whoa. Said he won't vote, he looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
I can't wait for our kingdom to start and for there to be finished. Get rid of all of their idols and lying religions. Look for the crown like an Edris. Hey, this that crown talk. Wisdom of Solomon 5 talk. This that second Edris 6 and 9. We want eyes talk. It's your time to end. And my time again. It's our time to win. Away with the sin. You know what it is. Rejoice with my kin. See that is why we repented. Go to streets, I can see myself in it. The city is bright, the kingdom of light. A wonderful sight past the angels, the inner light. I need 1,000 years of labor. Sit on my throne with my savior. Try the new wine, Prince alone. He bring pain like Major. You think the nations is equal to us? T.K. Kirkland, who raised you? Vex on occasion, my God a racist. That's why we moving with patience. It's been a long time coming. I spent my whole life running. Now that I'm 10 toes down and established my faith on 100. Woe to the nations, my king will race them. You know they gotta be punished. Jeremiah 25. Yeah, you know they gon' fry. Whoa! Said he won't vote, he looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
Yes, yes. All right. Yeah. What's going on? What's going on? Shalom, family. Shalom. Most High Christ bless y'all. Oh, it is the Nehemiah Squad. We are back. Oh, man.
From even the Eves, man.
What's going on? They wanted to play the intro music
one more
again.
It was like, yes.
All right. We're going to reintroduce ourselves. We are the Nehemiah Squad. I am Captain Zaccai.
Hey, it's Officer Shim.
Hey, Officer Judah.
All right. Excellent, excellent. Hey, can we get that thumbnail, please?
And whoever on the camera switching, pay attention, please.
All right. Excellent, excellent. All right. So tonight, family, we have a special guest. All right. But the name of our show is, Did the 13th Amendment Legalize Modern Day Slavery? All right.
Question mark.
And this has been a big thing ever since that Julio Fulio trial. Because of the way things went. It was shocking to a lot of people. Right. And so our guest tonight, which is Mr. Luis J. Rodriguez, we're going to talk to him about that. And I want to play something first, because I want to get everybody back into what exactly we heard that got us to this point, because it was just so it was kind of painful to watch. We know that these guys committed murder, so that was horrible, what they did. But to hear how this ex-warden spoke about the punishment, it made things very real, right? So, guys, bring up number 14. We're just going to play that real quick before we bring out our guest. And just, bring that back into our remembrance of these guys who were sentenced, because they were facing the death penalty at first. And then they pleaded for their lives, like, okay, we'll take life in prison. And then once they got the life in prison, they allowed this ex-warden to come in and speak after the sentencing. All right. You guys got that? All right. Play that real quick.
Based on Mr. Gathwright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes. With my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator, he's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity, and we will put him out there to work because we do have an aging prison population, jail administration.
Pause right there. It said we have an aging prison population, right? They're going to put him out there to work, letting you know that right there, he's letting you know without actually saying it to you that this is a working environment. This is we're using these people as our employees.
Yeah.
Right, for different businesses. We're gonna get into it. All right, hit play.
Have that, so we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them since they are young and actually can do the work.
And I know we talk about life without parole and death row, but for our jurors' education, in Florida, what does a life sentence without parole mean?
A life sentence in the Florida Department of Corrections means from the minute they're brought in, they're assigned an inmate number. He will be assigned an inmate number, and when he dies and leaves in a body bag, he will still have that inmate number.
Hit pause. And the way he's saying it, right? He's saying it cold. And in a way, it's good that he's doing that because our youngsters out here who's getting involved in all this crime, they need to hear it just like this. Because this is how it is. It's cold. It's not going to be nobody in there hugging you and what you call patting you on your back and all of that. No, this is cold. Hit play.
Serving life will never, ever get out. There is no parole in the state of Florida, and they're not ever allowed outside the razor wire and the fence of a secured facility.
All right, you can drop that. All right, so we just wanted to set the stage and just play that so everybody can get into the vibe of what we're getting ready to talk about tonight. So before we bring him out, Luis J. Rodriguez is an urban peacemaker, and brothers, bring up Lewis's books. He's also an author, and I want to make sure everybody sees all his books. Yes, excellent. All right. Luis J. Rodriguez is an urban peacemaker with lived experiences among gangs and other youth in Chicago, L.A., and other parts of the U.S. He's also done talks, readings, and workshops in Puerto Rico, Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Peru, Venezuela, Argentina, Cuba, Canada, England, Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Bosnia, Denmark, and Japan. For 45 years, he has taught creative writing as well as done poetry readings and healing circles in prisons, jails, and juvenile lockups. Among his 17 published books, he has 2 best-selling memoirs with Simon & Schuster, Always Running, La Vida Loca, Gang Days in L.A., and It Calls You Back, an odyssey through love, addiction, revolutions, and healing. He's also known for a book documenting this work called Hearts and Hands, Creating Community in Violent Times, from 7 Stories Press. He's a co-founder with his wife of Tia Chucha's Central Cultural and Bookstore, including its Trauma to Transformation program, sending artists, poets, musicians, and theater people to prisons, juvenile facilities, and re-entry programs. From 2014 to 2016, Luis served as LA Poet Laureate. All right, so we're going to bring out Mr. Luis J. Rodriguez. Where are you, my brother? Bring him out, please. Oh, there you go. There you go. How you doing, Luis?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. As we were doing research on you, we found a lot of things. It was just excellent points that you were bringing out, not only on this, but a little bit about your upbringing and how you came up. Can you talk to us a little bit about that before we get started? Because it's very interesting, your background.
Yeah, so I grew up in Watts, starting in Watts, coming from Mexico when I was 2 years old. I left Watts at 8 years old and ended up in a mostly Mexican migrant community that was the poorest community in LA County at the time. It was called South San Gabriel, and I joined a gang there at 11 years old. I started doing drugs, including heroin at 12. I was getting arrested. As a teenager, I was in 8 jails, juvenile hall, and 2 adult facilities. I was also homeless for 3 years, so I was in pretty bad shape. I will have to say that the movement, especially the civil rights movement, black and brown, black and Mexican, Puerto Rican, was what really gathered me to get to the point where I would leave, including heroin, including all the drugs and gangs. Last time I walked out of jail, I promised I would never go back for any criminal act or any violent act, and I've kept that promise for over 50 years. So what I decided to do, though, was eventually go back into prisons and juvenile for lockups, but as a teacher. I don't work for the prison system. I work for myself, but I've been teaching creative writing for 45 years, and I've also done healing circles and poetry readings and a number of things like that. Right now, I'm going to a women's prison every month. That's the latest thing. The one thing you should know is that I got out of all this criminal stuff, but I also work for gang peace, in that I try to bring gangs together in LA, starting with the Chicano gangs. And then I came back in 92 in the LA uprising and worked with the Bloods and Crips. I also worked with the MS-13 and 18th Street, and I also did a lot of work with Chicago gangs for 15 years. So that's important for me. The one other thing I just add, unfortunately, my son, he joined a gang in Chicago when I was there, and he got into a lot of trouble. I didn't want him in no gang. I tried to do everything I could to get him out of a gang, but he ended up doing 15 years in the Illinois State prison system. He finally got out. He did a 13.5-year stretch the last time. Now, just so you know, he's doing very well. He's now working as a gang interventionist for BUILD, which is a major gang interventionist program in Chicago. Huge. And unfortunately, though, his daughter, my granddaughter, just got out of prison herself for crystal meth. And her brother, my grandson, Joshua, died about 3.5 years ago from fentanyl.
Wow.
So this still affects my family. It affects my community, but I'm still in it, and I'm trying to help do whatever I can to liberate our communities from some of these traps that society has put in front of us.
That's right. And that's exactly what it is, traps. You mentioned something in an interview that I saw you on, and you talked about how you did some work with John Singleton, who did Snowfall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said in the show they had the CIA agent as a rogue agent, right? Right. And then you mentioned and you said something that was beautiful. You said, listen, it wasn't a rogue outfit. It was something that they definitely planned, and they did it as a plan. And as I was watching the show, I was thinking the same thing. Why did they have it like a rogue situation? It definitely wasn't that. And it was good that you said that. But please expound a little bit just so the people
Well, you know, I became a journalist eventually. I worked in industry. To get out of trouble, I worked in industry. I worked in a steel mill. I know welding, pipe fitting, mechanics. I worked in a lot of places. But I decided to become a writer when industry was leaving our communities, you know.
Right.
As you know, every major Chicago, Detroit, LA, all the major communities lost the industrial base. So I became a journalist. And one of the things I did as a journalist was cover uprisings in Mexico and cover the Contra War in Central America, which was initiated and supported by the CIA. And what I learned, being there as a reporter, talking to DEA agents, talking to people in the streets in Nicaragua and southern Honduras, that the U.S., through the CIA, was supporting drugs coming from Colombia through Central America and Mexico.
Right.
Whereas they used to be mostly the Caribbean. And I was trying to figure out what this was. This is in 1980, 82, before people were really talking about this. And I found out that the DEA, who are really anti-drug cowboys, I don't think they're right in what they're doing, but they really are anti-drug. Right. They can't stand the CIA for the most part.
Right, okay.
And they told me the CIA was instigating bringing drugs in that eventually turned out to be crack.
Right.
In the South Central communities where they first got into, they became crack, and eventually crack spread all over the country, as you know.
Right.
But it was the CIA that played a role. And I have to tell you, as you already said, it wasn't rogue agents. That's the way that CIA consultant they used said. Right. It was good Americans, good white Christian Americans working for the CIA that were making those decisions in their suits and ties. I mean, even Oliver North with a Marine, you know, these were good Americans that were bringing in these drugs and eventually leading to crack epidemic in our communities.
That's right. That's right. And it's important that that's pointed out. So again, like we saying, and I'm pretty sure when you speak to kids, you tell them this because they have to know that this is not an option for us. Although it seems like, okay, this is the only way we can make money. You just, you notice once we start down that trend, it always affects the family. It still keeps coming back. Somebody wants to either sell drugs. Somebody wants to use drugs. Somebody wants to be in crime. It's always something that, you know, and it stays there over and over because they got us, you know, because like you said, the industry had left, and then it seems like that's the only thing there, right? And before we get back into the 13th, before we get to the 13th Amendment and deal with that, there was something else that you talked about that that was excellent. It was two other points I want to bring out. You were discussing how your family was coming from Mexico, and then I think you were saying we came from our land to our land, the way you put it. I like that, right? Because it was, right? It was
right.
It was your land the whole time.
The border was only there 106 years when I was born in El
Right.
Paso, Texas.
Right.
But my people, and I say that my people because I have indigenous roots, they're called the Raramuri, or often the Tarahumara.
Right.
They've been there tens of thousands of years, forever. They've been here
Right.
as long as anybody. My family has these indigenous roots that go very deep. So even before there was borders, even before there was Mexico, even before there was Spain, my people were there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's why I'm saying we crossed the border, but we really were coming from our land to our land.
Right,
It wasn't a new land. It wasn't like we came across the oceans.
Right.
We were already in our land.
That's right. And what was intriguing also, because you said that your family and others, as as they came and then you were being born, and others, they were classifying you guys as white. And you said- right. Which was super strange. Because
it is super strange.
Yeah, it's strange because you're absolutely not treated as white, right?
You're not treated as white. And I
Right.
think what it is, it's an anti-black thing because
Right.
everybody, the real big issue, as you know, is in our country,
Right.
is the black slavery paradigm that was been with us for forever.
Right.
So everybody else, whether they're from European, Asian, or even from the Americas, put in other categories so that they don't ever be connected with black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
in our neighborhoods, I lived in poor black and brown neighborhoods.
Right.
Mexicans and blacks lived together. Watts was Mexican and black.
Right.
The west side of San Bernardino, where I lived, it was Mexican and black. Pacoima, where we're at now, when my wife grew up, was Mexican and black.
Right.
Even Southside Chicago, people talk about Southside Chicago. It's got a lot of black people, but there's a lot of Mexicans there.
Right.
And people don't talk about the Mexicans. There's the Bush, which was Mexican and black, where the big steel mills used to be at. They don't talk about our unity as a people. They keep separating us,
Yes.
but we really lived in the same neighborhoods for the longest time. But even if you go to the Bronx and South Bronx and you go to the heart of hip hop, it was black and brown. It was
That's right.
black and it was Puerto Rican.
That's right.
They were the heart of hip hop. I know I was there in 81 in the Bronx where it was popping up everywhere. The graffiti on all the walls, breakdancing everywhere, music and the DJing and everything.
Yep.
And black and brown people don't bring that up. They keep talking about the Mexicans or Puerto Ricans got to it later. We were at the heart of the urban
It was
cultural
there.
stuff. And black people, of course, influenced us because that was our community and we influenced them
Of course.
in many ways because we were community. You know how that is.
That's right. And I grew up in New York. We're out here in Sacramento, but I grew up in New York, and that's what it was. We grew up in the same neighborhoods, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican,
Right.
Mexican. Everybody was in the same neighborhoods. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It was always together. And New York is a big, and it's good that you've seen that for yourself, because being out here in California, you have, like in the northern part, it's cool. Then in southern LA, is still probably getting a little better, but it looked like the whole gang prison thing has that whole split, but that started from way back. That's another trap, another ploy.
But I tell you what, that started. That started when George Jackson and the head of the Mexican mafia were meeting in the early 70s to
Okay.
bring people together, to uniting.
Okay.
And as you know, in the early 70s, the head of the Mexican mafia there, who was named Cheyenne, was killed in Chino prison. And George Jackson was set up and killed in San Quentin.
That's right. Oh,
When they
okay.
killed them two, that dialogue died too.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, I think systematically, they started pitting black and brown and white too, but it was mostly black and brown because we were
Right.
the majority in the prison system.
That's right.
To have us come united would have been powerful.
Oh.
To break us up was the plan, and that's what they did. And we've lived with that now ever since all those years coming out of the prison system. This anti-black or anti-Mexican attitude that was instilled in us.
Right. That's an important point. I didn't hear it like that. I've never heard it like that before. That's excellent information. I want to bring this up. I'm going to show you something right now. Bring up number 20. Bring up number 20, because we were talking about as far as Mexicans being classified as white during this time. So watch this. Read that real quick, bro.
Historically, Mexicans were frequently classified as white. on birth certificates because the U.S. government traditionally only offered binary white or non-white racial categories. Because most Mexicans possess a combination of indigenous and European Spanish heritage, they were legally designated as white despite severe social discrimination. Severe social discrimination.
All right, let's go down because I want to go down to where it says Treaty of Guadalupe. Watch that. Yeah.
The legacy of the Treaty of Guadalupe. After the Mexican-American War in 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo granted Mexican citizens living in the ceded territories full U.S. citizenship. Because U.S. naturalization laws at the time favored whites, classifying Mexicans legally as white provided an administrative justification for them to be citizens.
Right. So watch this, though. Scroll down where it says social navigation and loopholes. Is that there? Okay. Nope, that's not it. I don't know why do you guys have a different one than what I have? All right, try to find it. Bring that back up again. You can drop it for now. We'll get back to it. But what they were saying, what I was reading, was that one of the reasons why they did that was that so the Mexicans could not be part of the civil rights movement. And therefore, if they classify them as white, then when the Mexicans say, hey, listen, we're being segregated. They say, oh, listen, well, you're not black. You're white here classified, so you're good. Meanwhile, they weren't because they were not having the Mexicans go to school with white people or so on and so forth.
We were segregated. We were in different schools. We were we couldn't go in the swimming pool, similar to black people.
Yes.
We had our own section for the movies. There was signs. In fact, I live in a community that used to be all white that had signs only 30 years ago, no Mexicans and dogs allowed.
Oh, yeah.
In the bars and cafes,
Yes.
So we lived the discrimination, but legally we were supposed to be white. And one of the bad things about that, it takes away our indigenous roots.
Yes.
Because most of us aren't even that Spanish, but it didn't matter.
Right.
We were Hispanicized, because the Spanish came and conquered, and there wasn't that many Spanish, but it became Hispanicized, even if you were a former slave, black slave, or if you were indigenous.
That's right.
So we ended up losing our indigeneity, losing our tribes, losing our language, just to become Hispanics.
Right.
And then in the United States, we don't know where we're at because we fit in that binary, the black and white binary. We don't fit in there. We don't know. People don't know, but we're part of this society, this world, this country. We're part of the culture.
Right.
And because we live with black people, I think we tended to more be together with black people, which is why I think that division between blacks and Mexicans was important for society.
Yes.
Because together we could have done a lot more.
Yep.
Dividing us kept us behind the 8 ball. All of us, both of us. Yeah.
Of course. And that was the key, to keep the numbers separated, because if the numbers are put together now, all of a sudden, if you're a white person for real, now you're like a minority. So they had to try to keep the numbers. Okay, there's 13% of America's black people, or whatever 15% is it. You know what I mean? Just so they can keep the numbers.
Now there are white Mexicans and there are Asian Mexicans, and Mexicans aren't a race. But I am talking about the Mexicans that have been here, indigenous mostly, or with some Spanish mixture and some African mixture, because now that DNA has come out, Mexicans are surprised sometimes and sometimes they're not, that they're much more indigenous than they're not. And they also got black, they got African in them.
Yeah.
This is what the DNA is showing, that the Spanish is there, but is not as much as we thought. We weren't half Mexican and half Spanish. We were mostly indigenous, some Spanish, and even some African. This is showing the world that we actually were much more non-white than people were proclaiming.
Right.
And yes, there are white Mexicans, just like, there's all races in them.
Right.
But we're talking about the majority of Mexicans in this country.
Yes, absolutely. And later on, we're going to show you some history, more ancient history about who we know today as Mexicans, right? And why the Europeans said, okay, well, let's make them white. Let's do this. Let's do that. Because like you said, it's a brainwashing thing, right? To get you out of your heritage, right?
Right.
But here's that sign you were talking. Bring up number 13 real quick. But this is what you were talking about. Luis. This right here. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were all going through this.
Yeah.
And as you know, with the lynchings, as you know, the majority of lynchings in this country were black.
Yes.
But the second largest number of people lynched were Mexicans.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, they say about 5,000 that they got. There's probably more, but they got 5,000 numbers of blacks lynched from 1870 to 1950s. But around that time, they think there was 1,000 Mexicans lynched.
Yeah.
So we were suffering, but we weren't seen. You know, we were
That's right.
invisibilized. We were just not seen. Nobody
right.
could put Mexicans in the history books. They couldn't put us in our. They couldn't even put us in the culture. Every time we popped up, they kept hiding us away from what was going. Like when the lowrider culture was very big in hip hop.
Right.
Lowriding came out of the Mexican communities, but blacks were
Absolutely.
right
Yep.
at the heart of it. It became a black and brown connection thing.
Yep.
But when you saw the lowriders in the hip hop, nobody knew Mexicans were involved.
Yeah.
Because the culture, the commercial part of it was let's just keep it black because we don't. It confuses people if they're actually Mexicans in there. But if you look at the videos with Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre or anybody, you know, you see Mexicans are in there, but they don't tell
yeah.
you. You know,
No, 100%.
They don't tell you we're part of it. Yeah.
That's the same thing that they be trying to do with us. They call us Black Hebrew Israelites. But if you look through our organization, it's all type of Hispanics and Native Americans all through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what's
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
about the whole thing, like you're saying, Luis? The history is not shown too much, and it's a real good reason for it because, like you said, the threat of unity, right? Just as it was dangerous then, that threat is still there. Us
Yeah,
being unified is very much still there. So guess what? They're not going to talk about Hispanic slavery either, which happened before the black slavery, right?
Yep,
Yes.
So
1492.
when you
Yes.
think of that, the history connects us.
Yeah.
The poverty connects us.
Yeah.
The curses that we go
That's
through
very
connects
important
us.
to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Very important. And like I said, having grown up in Watts, I knew that. I came back to Watts in my 20s. My oldest kids were born in Watts. If you go to Watts now, because people treat me like a native son, they're so beautiful there.
Right.
If there's a Watts train station, there's a big mural. One section has a poem that I wrote.
Oh man.
Sections of my poem, Watts Bleeds, with the Brown Berets image there, you know.
Right.
So they're honoring me having been a Watts resident.
Right.
The community is really good about this, but the culture doesn't quite get that.
Right. Right. Oh man, it was something you said. I forgot just that quick. It was something that was said and I was about to jump on it.
Maybe
Something about
history connecting us or Hispanic slavery.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So even with ICE, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with ICE? When you look back in I think it was the early 1900s when the Europeans were coming over in droves. You know what was happening during that time? They were moving the Mexicans out and pushing them, trying to push them back into Mexico. This is amazing stuff. If people don't really go and do research, they're not going to understand that this thing is the same thing that's happening now happened way back in the early 1900s.
They've been deporting and bringing them in like during the Depression.
Right.
Nobody can get
Yes.
jobs. They brought Mexicans to work when nobody was working.
Right.
And then when the Depression got really bad, they threw them out.
Yeah.
A lot of them were U.S. born. They were
Right.
citizens, but they threw them out and put them back to Mexico. During the 50s, World War II, the same thing. They brought a lot of Mexicans to come in, work the fields
Right.
that nobody could work. And then as soon as people came out of the war, they threw them out again.
Right.
We were going back and forth constantly, depending on what the economy was doing. But some people stayed, which is why we ended up in these poor communities along with black people.
Right.
We stayed with them. I remember my mom was picking cotton in South Texas.
What?
Cotton was a black thing, but after a while,
Right.
it became a lot of blacks were moving up north. They couldn't get the people to work, so they brought a lot of Mexicans. My mom was 9 years old picking cotton in South Texas when black people used to do that. You know what I'm saying? And people don't know that story.
That's right.
They don't know that we were right following along all that, the slavery trade and everything.
That's right.
That people just need to know that history is much more complex and much more rich.
Oh yeah.
It brings us bigger and closer together than people know.
Right.
That's why I like this whole idea about the urban connection, but also what happens in the prisons. You know, the California prison system, 80% is black and brown.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a major thing. Now, people don't know that about 40% is Chicano and 35% is black, but people think, well, 45% is about the population of California that we are. But black people are not that much, not even
Right.
10%, but yet they're 35% of the prison system.
Hmm.
So disproportionately, they're more in prison system.
Right.
But if you get the Mexicans and blacks, 80% of them together,
Hmm.
then you got something powerful.
Right.
Yes.
That's why the prison system becomes one of the first dividing places that they put
Right.
wedges, keeping
Right.
us at each other's throats.
Right.
It's very powerful if we ever could. That's why I'm saying George Jackson and some of the leaders of the Mexican organizations there were meeting and trying to bring some unity,
Right.
and they undermined it completely.
Yeah, that's outrageous. But then that leads us now into the 13th Amendment, right?
Right.
And what we're looking at now, and we just played the video of those kids. We call them kids. They were 20, 21, right?
Right.
And now they're about to spend the rest of their life in prison, but
Yeah.
basically as slaves.
That's
Right?
exactly right.
So talk to us a little bit about that, Louis. How do you deal with that, with these, going into the prisons and or even before these kids get there? What do you have?
Well, it got really big, and I lived through this in the 70s because of the mass incarceration has been here for a long time, as you know.
Right.
But in the 70s, you had a lot of the beginnings of deindustrialization.
Right.
The jobs that our parents, first union jobs they ever had, first time they bought a house, right after World War II. But I'm talking about black and brown people.
Right.
Was in those industries. And in LA was the largest manufacturing center of the country, bigger than Chicago, Detroit. Nobody knows that. They think of LA as beaches, Hollywood, Disneyland. They don't realize how much industry, which is why black and brown people moved there in large numbers and lived together.
That's right.
We worked in that industry. In the 70s, it began to fall apart. And as it died, the prison system started becoming the place for these pushed off working class black and brown people because they didn't have no more work. They were homeless. As you know, Skid Row in LA got
It was massive.
bigger and bigger. I was
Yeah.
living there at the time, so I know it got bigger. All of a sudden, the industry was gone and the people were filling. By the 80s, when crack comes in, it's like a perfect storm. Crack comes in to fill in the gap. The gangs that were just street gangs, turf gangs, became super duper drug gangs
Right.
because there was no more industry. They were the economic life for a lot of these neighborhoods. So prison becomes the place where it's perfect. Now you have laws that you can get these guys for drugs, selling drugs. Now the guns is everywhere. They're using guns. They're not fighting anymore. They're shooting each other, drive-bys and everything. So now you got a perfect place for them, prisons. So you got these prisons that, in California in particular, got so big. It's not the second largest after Texas, but it was the largest prison system in the whole country for the longest time.
Yep.
Right.
Filled in with, and I was there. I watched whole neighborhoods being put in prison, denied jobs, denied work. They were being attacked by the cops, the sheriff's deputies in particular, but also LAPD were like the army for the rich white people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Against us, and they were arresting people for everything. People getting big. The sentences were growing. You could get, it used to be in YA you can do a murder, and if you're at age 25, even with a murder, you'd be out. Most of those kids that did a murder and they got out by YA, we're not going to go murder anybody else.
Yeah.
Whatever it was they did, whatever happened is done. They got rid of YA, as you know.
Yeah.
They started putting young people into the actual prison system, tried as an
trialing
adult,
them as an
and giving
adult.
them life sentences.
Yeah.
So they were preparing everyone for just working in the prison system for very little money,
Right.
and then bring in private companies to come in, use the prison system for their own profiting, and it's on the blacks and mostly black and brown people, and poor white people, but mostly black and brown people.
Right. Right. And that was the extension, basically the extension of slavery.
That's what it was, absolutely.
And
You're not paying these people nothing. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Whatever you're paying them, it's nothing.
No, for real. Yeah, go ahead.
But you're using tax dollars to keep them fed, right? Tax
Right.
dollars to keep them in the house. You keep tax dollars to keep them in a situation where they could be. It's like the old plantation.
That's right.
Those people were fed and everything else through the big plantation money.
Yes.
But they kept them that way, barely good enough to just keep working.
That's right. That's right. One guy said that he was working for 17 cents an hour.
Yeah.
Right. So these are and again, this is horrible, but these are points that we can use to deal with the youth and let them know
Help them to give them the knowledge. We call it clecha, among Chicanos. That just means teaching. Teach our young people. They need to know the environment they're entering. Sometimes they think it's their plan. I created this world. I'm a gangster. Okay, but I always tell them, you know what? Somebody else created this plan. That's not your plan.
That's
You're
right.
following. It's like Ice-T used to say, we played ourselves.
Right.
And that's what we're doing. We're playing ourselves. Now, I try to teach people to not do that, but I try to let them know I played myself. I was into that world. My son fell right into that world.
Right.
And now we got to get our young people to realize we don't have to play into that somebody else's plan.
Right.
Now we got to create our own plan of liberation, of knowledge, of actual strategic, creative means to overcome all this stuff instead of constantly falling into the traps of the addiction game, the drug game, the violence game that we all fall into, the crime game.
Right.
Yeah.
You know the crazy thing is, Luis, you said we got to create our own plan, right? But our plan has already been here. It's just been stripped from us. It's been taken from us. It's been
I agree.
It's been eradicated from us. They know who we are. It's us that don't know who we are. The plan has always been in God's will. Let me read something to you. Give me Genesis 49 right quick. I want verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1.
Yep.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together.
What are we supposed to do?
Gather yourselves together.
First thing we're supposed to do is gather ourselves together as brothers, because that's who we are, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We all make up one people.
Yeah.
They eradicated that history from us. They stole that history from us. But our forefather, Jacob, he said he wanted us to do what?
Gather yourselves together.
Not as individuals, as one. Go ahead.
That I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Now, Zephaniah 2:1. The plan has always been here. They take all of the truth and they hide it, and then they make our book, our history book, a fairy tale, so nobody will believe in it, or they'll make it seem like they have a hand in it, so they could be like, oh no, that's the white man's book. No, this is our book. This is these are our instructions.
I think this is very important because even people don't realize that Christianity was first impacting the black communities of Africa. They were the first Christians. They were the first ones that get the book. Nobody tells you that story. They were the first ones that actually propagated and got that knowledge. And Ethiopia and other places, they were the Coptics and stuff. They were the first ones that were getting into that teachings and knowledge. Yeah. And then I also point out indigenous people, because I do study our indigenous, our Aztec, Mayan roots and everything else. But we also had similar ideas. These ideas were not counter to each other. It might have been that what happened with Christianity happened in a certain part of the world. But the teachings were actually in our communities as well.
Right.
Gathering together, connecting with nature and our own nature, realizing that the most important thing we leave in this world is the relationships, the beautiful, powerful relationships, that our duty is for the beauty and truth and goodness. That's what all religions should teach you. I don't care what religion it is, follow that. It's in those teachings, it's in those books, as you point out. That's what our duty is in this world, to make it a better world. It's our task, given to us. It's not just so we get stuff and then we're going to live out somebody else's idea of stuff. Every one of those things has to be reimagined, relived. It comes alive again, the teachings that you're pointing out to. And I tell that to these young people because there's a lot of young people that are looking for that. They're looking for a spiritual engagement in the world, and they don't know where to go. And I tell them, it's already in your bones. You have to know. And if the books are there to help relate what's already inside of you. You already have the antidote inside of you.
That's right. I want to show you this book, right? It's called Origins of the American Indians, right? It's written by Lee Huddleston, right? I'm going to show you a page in this thing because this is we talking about history and the things that our people need to see. And this is a lot of stuff we teach. So this is Origins of the American Indians, European Concepts, 1492 to 1729, right? Hey, just get that page, the next page. All right. Just read that real quick. Just blow it up a little.
Starting at the top?
Yes, sir.
Page 86. A variant reading of the thesis advanced by
Start at accepted the traditional version.
accepted the traditional version of the 10 lost tribes of Israel theory. A variant reading of the thesis advanced by Pedro Simon in 1627 enjoyed as much popularity and more notoriety. Simon accepted part of the Ezra story and argued that Indians probably originated in Israel, but only from the tribe of Issachar. He based this belief on the prophecy of Issachar's father, Jacob, 1627-37. Issachar is a strong ass, crouching down between the sheepfolds. He saw that a resting place was good, and that the land was pleasant. So he bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a slave at forced labor. RSV Genesis 49:14.
Right. So right here, so it's telling you that the so-called Indians that were over here in North and South America, they're saying they come from the tribe of Issachar, right? But today, the so-called Mexicans are really the tribe of Issachar. So they're trying to let you know that the people we know today as Mexicans or so-called natives, right, are part of the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
In other words, you're an original Jew. That's really what it's saying. You know, so these are real things. Even in the Bible, it'll show you how the so-called Hispanic, who they call Hispanic today, or Latinos, how they came from the East in ships and came over. You know, this is just beautiful stuff. But these are the things that, you know, we like to put out there so we can learn and we can know our history together, you know?
Yeah, I think if we have to challenge ourselves to learn, as you're pointing out, what is going on. We have been given a story that the narrative has always been given a certain way. I grew up where the church was oppressive. You know, I grew up where the church was trying to control. But if you go deep into the teachings, as you're pointing out, that wasn't its origin. You know what I'm saying? So, and even when I go back to the Rarámuri, my mother's people, I've been down there to Sierra Tarahumara in Chihuahua, Mexico. They still speak their language. They still have their traditions. They're beautiful people. But when the Jesuits came in there, they didn't really care for the Jesuits, but they took the teachings that made sense to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if you go down there, they now incorporate the teachings they get from the Bible with their own teachings that have been there in that land.
Yep, that's what.
And it makes sense to them. They've incorporated it so it makes sense to them. And it's not the church trying to impress them like the Jesuits wanted to do. In fact, they got rid of the Jesuits. They just took over these little structures that the Jesuits created, took the pews out, and they all sit on the ground. But they're taking those teachings and it makes sense to them. Those original teachings that they get from the book, but also from their own stories that they carry. That's what I'm saying. It's how the ancestral memory is still there. And some of these books open it up to you because it's ancestral. We have it from way back, you know, which kind of shows all our origins have the same origin. You know, all of us, you know, have a similar origin. We might have been going all over the place. Maybe we think we're not the same people, but we all have the origins the same place. That's why those teachings resonate with all of us. You know what I'm trying to get at.
100%, 100%. And what I was talking about before, I just want to bring it home in this page. Bring 88 up real quick. Page 88. Okay. There you go. Scroll to the bottom. Scroll to the bottom. The bottom. There you go. All right. Read from there. The only other writer.
Yes, sir. Page 88. The only other writer this author found who accepted the Issachar variation of the 10 lost tribes theory was Baltasar de Medina. In his Chronica
de la Santa Provincia de San Diego de Mexico
of 1682.
Go ahead.
Although Medina, 1682 followed 223 V thought the South Americans and Yucatans were descendants of the Gentile Icatan, father of Ophir. The Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Salmanezar and of the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognize as their special ancestor.
Right. So back then in the 1600s, when they dealt with those Mexicans, they always knew that the man Issachar, and he is the father of the tribe of Issachar and the father of the Mexican people. They always knew that that's our special ancestor. Right. So these are the things that they hid and then put that away. And like you said, they try to make it look like, oh, you're mostly Spanish. You're mostly from Spain, right? They try to do that so that people will get away from their understanding. And it worked because even, for most of us, we didn't have any understanding. We just, we came over as slaves. We don't know what happened before that. No, you know what I mean? But we had to go in and learn and go, dig up and find these books. And there's a lot of books that show where the South Americans are from. I'm just using that South Americans, South American, Native Americans, so-called Indians, much history on that and how they came over here in ships. And they were here for a very long time, but they came over a very long time ago, So these are the important things for our people to try to get cohesive again and gather ourselves together once again, like we were saying earlier, and but yeah, also Louis, I want to ask you as well, in regards to going back to that 13th Amendment and this thing here, is there any way that you feel that this thing can change? Because a lot of people are try to fight and get amendments changed. Yeah, it's like impossible because the voting thing doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, obviously, we got to start from scratch and try to tell these kids to stop getting into trouble because the bottom line is they're going in to be a professional slave. You know what I mean?
But I think what you do, and I think the 60s and 70s had it. That's why it was undermined.
Right.
When the Black Panthers and other groups, Brown Berets, all the groups that were coming up there, they were trying to teach young people their story, but also a vision. That's what got me out of all this stuff. It's hard to leave heroin cold turkey. It's the worst way to leave it. It's hard to leave all those ways that capture you. But when you have a strong enough vision, and they were impacting us with that, a lot of us got pulled out of it. I know a lot of people went back, a lot of people died, a lot of people didn't make it, but the few of us that have been at it for 50, 60 years, black and brown, coming out of those communities, we're still at it. It carried us all our lives.
Right.
And one of the things I tell people is that, again, it taps into something already ancestral. It's like people talk about AI. We don't need artificial intelligence. We need ancestral intelligence.
Right. Hey, that's
ancestral
I like
intelligence.
that.
Yeah, go back and tap into that because we
have to
carry
use
it.
that.
So, yeah, I think you should. I mean, because the people need to know that AI is made of artificial. We don't need this stuff. We already have in our being everything we need to be able to live in a world that's made for us, already for us. And now, how do we teach that to our young people? Because if they don't have a vision, it's hard for them to leave that stuff. We have to provide them a vision enough, but it has to be a vision that goes forward and backward enough to move forward. Back enough so they know they've had this knowledge always, and now they got to go through it. So this, I think, is what's going to help young people understand how we don't fall into these traps or the designs that others have created. That we can create our own way. I have what I call the 4 key connections, and these are, again, from my indigenous roots. Some of them is probably in that literature, but one is you got to connect to nature. Nature is your best university. Nature teaches you everything you need. Nature is everything. The best way to activate our own human nature is to be in nature. But we get removed, we get detached. People don't know the trees and herbs and everything around you anymore. Everything's paved over. We've been detached. Prisons are totally outside of nature. That's one thing. The other connection is to connect to your own nature. What are your own propensities and gifts, capacities? Every human being is singular. Every human being is special and unique in that way. We're tied to all together, but each one has a special seed that has to be nurtured and developed. How do we help that nature? And the other one is the nature of relationships. because we have to expand our idea of relationships, not just with human beings, but also the animals and also the earth, and everything becomes alive for us. But human beings and the teachings, for example, of even things like loving your neighbor as yourself. It's all related to that. The relationships are so important. We treat people with respect. We have to respect ourselves.
Yeah.
We keep our dignity, but don't take nobody else's dignity away.
That's right.
That's not what the prison system does. Complete takes your dignity away. It's all about, but
Right.
we keep our relationship strong. And then the last one was our relationship with the divine. And that's an important part because that's the one that we keep getting detached from.
Right.
And it's not always in churches. Sometimes churches are the least divine places.
Right.
Sometimes you find it just being who you are in art and music and whatever you might be. The divine is accessible a lot of ways, and they don't teach us that. They make it seem like you got to only go to a certain place and that'll be there. Maybe, maybe not. But the point is, it's accessible. I teach that to these young people, gang kids, prisoners and stuff as much as I can, so that they know that they already have it within them to get this knowledge and awareness. That again, tap into that ancestral intelligence, not artificial intelligence.
Right. I like the ancestral intelligence. We're going to be using that.
Yeah.
We're going to use that because that's a real thing, right? That's a real thing. You said something about vision, right? It's important that people see themselves as something, right? That value. And I think what happened was a lot of times in our communities, and most of us are not like that, right? A lot of people know they feel strong about themselves, right, so to speak, but they don't know the length, the strength of it, right? The breadth, how strong they are as a people, right? To see themselves as somebody. Oh, my people did this, my people did that. They don't see it, right? And that's where the vision comes in. So I just want to read something to you real quick. And these are things that we use to help the kids on Proverbs 29:18. When we speak to kids as well, because we do youth violence seminars, things like that, anything we can. And we bring out a lot of history just so that the kids can see, oh man, we didn't just pop up out of here and there. We're not just Panamanian. We're not just El Salvadorians and black. You know what I'm saying? We have to bring this stuff out. So I'm going to read this real quick, and we always add this. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
Right. Where there's no vision, the people are going to perish because they don't see anything. They don't see that light at the end of the tunnel.
There you go.
And so we have to keep pressing that fact, keep pressing those buttons of restoring the vision.
Without the vision, you become helpless.
Right.
You
man.
become hopeless. You become
yep.
eventually meaningless. Things become the less and less and less. When you're meaningless, you're game to be on heroin. You're game to be on fentanyl. You're game to be pulled into whatever. Let's do this crime. When you have no meaning, it doesn't matter what happens to me. Kill me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's why you have to give people a vision, like you're saying, so that they fill all those gaps with real value, as you point out. Not the value that you can work for somebody in 17 cents an hour, but your true value is a human being, a divine human being that's capable of doing so much, as you say, especially families and communities united together.
Right.
That to me is the future. That's the past and that's the future. We have to go backwards to go forward.
Right.
And it breaks down the idea of race and the idea of what border, all these things that have held us back over and over again, that we actually are one, to get back to oneness. The Raramuri have a saying among themselves, Guiraba. It's like the way they greet and say goodbye, like aloha in Hawaii.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, but it means hello. But what it means is we are one. It's a reminder that we are one. You say Guiraba to greet people, and you say Guiraba to say goodbye, so that you keep reminding we are one. We are one. It's a beautiful way of constantly connecting who we are as community.
Hey, Luis, we heavy biblical, right? And I want to read you a couple of things that you're saying. Like you're saying sometimes you do things natural. We gotta go to the past to go forward. Excellent stuff. Let's talk about going to the past to go forward, right? Give me Romans 15:4. And I try to be because I want to keep the conversation going. I just want to point out the things that you're saying that are here. You know what I'm saying? These things are here, and they're really, really good stuff. I don't want to interrupt you, but this is perfect. Watch this.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Our history is for our learning, right? So we look back. We look at our forefathers, what they did, the relationships they had with our friends and enemies. Are we going to continue to relate with our enemies after they've shown us that they've been our enemies, right? So we look to the past to go to the future, read.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
Because now I can see pitfalls, right? And what'd you say? If you have no hope, you end up in a suicidal lifestyle. When I have no hope, I don't care if I get in a fight today or if I get stabbed today. It's what I got to live for. So I'm just going to get mine today, right?
Yeah.
So that's what the Proverbs 13 and 12. So these are all great things you're saying, and the principles are right here.
I agree.
And you relating to them for a specific reason, and I'll show you.
Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 12. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick.
Hope deferred makes the mind crazy. It makes us sick. So when you see your political leader shot after all the unity in the 60s, we are almost there. You know what I'm saying? The 70s, we got it. Then crack comes in. You know what I'm saying? We the Black Panthers fall, Brown Berets fall. Now what do the kids have hope for? Nothing.
No, that's right.
You know?
That's a very important part of the work that I do, and I'm sure you do. When I'm in the institutions, I try to help that understanding. I mean, one of the things I go, like I said, I will go around the world. So I was in a drug cartel prison in Chihuahua, Mexico, where my family's from. Huge drug cartels. A year before, 25 people were killed. In Mexico, when they have riots, they don't just kill one or two people; they kill a whole mess of them. So I'm talking to these young people, and then I don't know how we end up this conversation. This one young person, I kind of asked him why he gave up everything to be in the drug cartel, his family, everything. And he goes, well, my dad worked his whole life and died, never made anything. He worked, my mom worked, everybody worked very little. In the drug cartel, I'm going to work maybe 1 or 2 years. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'll buy a vehicle. Maybe I'll have women. Maybe I'll have gold. At least 2 years I will have lived. Can you imagine that way of thinking?
Right.
And yes, I know I'm going to die. I know they're going to get me and torture me and they're going to kill me. But at least 2 years I would have lived. So you can see the trap he fell into.
Right.
And then they need a vision so that they don't fall into that. I said, that's not your vision. That's somebody else's giving you something. Because like you're pointing out, even in these teachings, they're pointing out that there's always other ways to go through. You have to have a relationship to options. And if you believe in the divinity of everything, the options are all over the place. But we don't see them. We're caught in this little world. And I'm going to die. Like I remember when I was growing up in the gang, I thought, I'm going to die in the blaze of glory. I'm going to die for my body or for my neighborhood.
Right.
Let them kill me. It'll be the best way to die. The best funeral ever would be when I'm dead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People can show up. My dad shows up. We never showed up at home. Girlfriends, I'd be crying. That's the best day of my life, my funeral. Can you imagine the kind of thinking that is? So we got to help our young people so they don't fall into that kind of thinking. Totally blocked, totally hopeless, totally fatalistic in the sense that I have no agency. I can't do nothing about this.
Right.
It's a given. And we have to say it's not a given. Those teachings are saying the same thing. All those words are putting out the same message. We're bigger than what we think we are. And that we're able to tap into something much more powerful so that we can keep moving forward in this world as community, liberated from all those traps that we pointed out.
Yeah. And like we was all talking about earlier, that division, you have to know that history. You have to know where you came from, because we wasn't always the bottom. We wasn't always we just became the bottom within the last 500-600 years.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't always been at the bottom. We have to remember where we came from. One scripture, and then I'm gonna give it back to Cap. Revelation 2:5. Revelation 2:5.
Revelations chapter 2 and verse 5.
Yeah. Remember, therefore, from whence thou art fallen. He said we got to remember from where we fallen from. We are the top nation on the planet. We have to remember that. We got to remember how we got there. We got to remember how we fell off, so we don't do the same thing again. Go ahead.
And repent.
Change from how we are now and go back to how we were. Go ahead.
And do the first works.
And do our first works. Our first works was keeping the civil, moral laws of this book. And that's how we prospered. And I wish we had enough time to go through all that with you right here, right now, but we don't. Go ahead.
Or else I will come unto thee quickly and will remove thy candlestick out of his place.
You see what happened when we stepped away from who we were? Our candlestick got removed. Now, instead of being the top nation and the top dog, we at the bottom scraping for crumbs. We supposed to be the people sitting at the table, and all the other nations are supposed to be the people that's eating off the scraps of our table. But since we don't know who we are or where we came from, or remember that we were the top dogs, we eating the crumbs off of their table.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I appreciate what I said, the klecha, which means the teachings.
Right.
I appreciate it. In the prison, they call it klecha when you give people knowledge that they didn't know,
yes,
and they appreciate it. Say, "Oh, you're giving me klecha." I appreciate that. They respect that, and I should respect you trying to give those teachings. Those are powerful teachings.
Appreciate you as well,
man,
Luis. And you know, we didn't speak about it earlier, but we know that and just for to let the audience know what you've been through, how you came up, because you're not speaking out of a place where you're just want to be a good guy. You've been through it,
right?
You know what I mean? Like I know your history. You were jumped into gangs. You created your own little clique out, your own little gang, and then went from there. Went to stick ups.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I've shot people, I've stabbed people, people have shot at me.
Yep.
It's unfortunate to have to live that life. And then when my son was first facing the big term, he was going to get 40 years to life. Yeah. They were going to make him a life sentence where he was going to work forever.
Right.
I couldn't get him out of prison because he had done some things that were really serious, but I fought to stop the life sentence. I fought it. Right. I said, no, don't give him away. They ended up giving him 28 years in the state of Illinois, but it fell through the cracks where he didn't have to do 100% of the time, 80 to 100%.
Right.
So he can get out half the time with good time. So his last stretch was 13 and a half years. He did 14 years, and they gave him 6 months off. Okay. So he got out 13 and a half years, and now he's been out for about, I think, 15 years.
That's good.
All praise.
Clean, sober, crime-free, gang-free. Took my own son. He's 51 years old. Right. Took him a long time to finally gather himself. Right. But again, that was what I had to do. And I could have done what my parents done, thrown me out of the house. I tried to do that with him, and I couldn't. I told my wife, I'm not going to do that with him. Right. I even told him, he doesn't remember this. I told him when he was like joining the gang, he didn't want to get out of the gang. He says, well, then I'm going to go through this roller coaster to hell with you. What? He didn't understand what I was saying. I'm going to be there every step of the way. Right. I'm going to be there through everything. And I was, when they put him in the hospital, when they put him in a psychiatric treatment hospital, when they put him in juvenile facilities, when he ended up in prison, I was there every step of the way. So when he finally matured and figured it out, he says, I'm done, Dad. I'm done with this. I get it. I get it now. Because I wouldn't let him go.
Right.
So that's important for even our own kids. If we lose our kids, don't walk away from them. It's heartbreaking, but it's important to be there with them every step of the way, because they don't have to follow those traps. They don't have to fall into them.
Not at all.
We can help with that.
No, absolutely. And so Luis, you had something you want to say?
No.
Okay. Go ahead. So Luis, we're going to thank you for your time. I know you gave us a lot of time tonight, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
And again, put up Luis's books, because I think that there's a lot to gain, because your experience is heavy. Right. You know what I mean? I want to say that you're not like just a teacher who just wants to tell kids stuff. You actually been through a lot of significant parts of the street, right? And you can speak to it. So this is Luis's whole collection, I should say, but he has a lot of books that he's written, and also some memoirs. And we know that you are into poetry, and I know you did something not too long ago. Matter of fact, I saw it online. I want to say it was like a couple of weeks ago. Correct? Am I right with that? or maybe a
Yeah,
couple.
I do a lot of readings and talks. I just did a commencement for UC Santa Barbara, University of California, Santa Barbara, of the
Okay.
Latin Day graduation
Right.
yesterday. Thousands of people were there,
Right.
and I'm giving them as much of the knowledge as I can. It was the first time I wore cap and gown. They gave me a cap and gown, put me in a regalia.
Yeah.
I never wore cap and gown ever. I told them, this is the first time, and I'm talking to you all.
Right.
And it
right.
was quite a talk. It was something.
Oh man, that's excellent, excellent. So Luis, we're gonna let you go again. We appreciate your time for being gracious with us.
Yep.
And we just want to, before you leave, we just want to let you know, hey, Luis, you are from the tribe of Issachar. You're an Israelite according to the Bible.
That's right.
All right,
Okay,
so just want to let you know.
all right.
All right.
To your
Thank
history,
you so
man.
much.
All right, thank you. All right, be safe. Out.
According to your ancestral
Yes,
intelligence.
Yeah, ancestral intelligence. That was good. We're gonna use that.
Good, man.
We're gonna use that. That was good.
Yeah, you look
Luis
at
was saying a lot of good stuff, man.
Oh, man,
He said
excellent.
a lot of good stuff,
real.
and it was actually scriptural what
Yep.
he was saying. I wish we could have got every little thing
That's
out of there, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It was so much.
Yeah, it was a lot.
We would have to keep jumping in because everything he was saying.
He wouldn't have got a word out.
Right. Everything he was saying was scriptural. I'm like, oh man,
It was.
and we would have just it would have been crazy. But we're gonna go back to it, y'all, and deal with some of those points that Luis was bringing out. But we definitely want to touch a little bit about this 13th Amendment some more, right? Hey, bring up number 17. Bring up number 17. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. This is a brother who was
Now, why
in
you say
there,
it's
right? Dealing with this. So remember, Luis said his mom was picking cotton back in Texas, right? Watch this.
Now, why you say it's slave? Because some people think that, hey, once you're there, you just get a bunk bed, you get a book, and you get to just sit there in boring silence for the rest of your days.
You asked me why I said slavery?
Let's go.
Have you ever seen pick cotton?
Nah,
Where have you seen pick cotton at?
never in my life.
Slave, though.
Oh, slave.
I was sent to pick cotton. That's why I said
Oh,
I'm
so
a
you-
slave.
so wait, so-
I was sent to sit. All right,
so-
I ain't never seen nothing but a slave pick cotton.
Wait, so
Yeah.
you have actually picked cotton off the cotton plant?
I have picked cotton off the cotton plant. Texas Department of Criminal Justice, you pick cotton off the cotton plant.
Damn.
And he said, where? Texas.
Yeah.
All right. It's a real thing, y'all. This is a real thing.
For 17 cents an hour.
Oh, y'all want to see the 17 cents, huh?
That's high paying in there.
Yeah. Y'all
Bruh,
want to
for
see
real.
17 cents.
You get like 5.
Yep, 10 cents to
10
work in the
cents,
kitchen.
bruh.
Yep.
To print up license plates. Y'all think that's just movie stuff, bro. That stuff is real,
It's
bro.
real deal. Bring up number 8. Because that's where I got it from. The brother said he was making 17 cents an hour. You know, and a lot of our people, we like, oh, nah, we don't, I ain't trying to work for this money right here. I'd rather go hustle. Okay. You're going to go hustle, get caught, and then make 17 cents an
And
hour.
then make
You gonna
less
work
than
harder.
$1 a day.
Right.
You
Less
gonna
than
work
$1,
harder than
less
you
than a
ever
quarter.
worked. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? You can't even give a quarter to a kid right now. He going to school and you say, here you go. He gonna hit you in the head with that quarter.
He gonna throw it at you.
Yeah, he gonna throw it at. He gonna gun it at you.
For real. Y'all remember Life? We watched Life.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
loved that movie, right? You
Yeah.
see
Right.
what they was doing on Life? They was digging trenches,
Yep.
Man,
so on and so forth. We
Yeah.
seen that in the movie Sinners.
Yep.
You know, they was
you pulling up. You talking some good stuff, and you
Yeah.
getting ready to hear some stuff that corroborate with what you're saying right now. Play that
Y'all
number
got
8
it?
real quick.
Play it.
So prisons in America specifically are some of the biggest, most dysfunctional businesses we have in our society. And they're business because of the cheap and free labor. When you read the 13th Amendment, that basically was the amendment that broke through slavery and freed the men and women who were enslaved at the time, there's a clause in there that allows for the re-enslavement of people in the event that they're convicted of a crime. And so in prisons throughout our country, you have people who are working for basically free. And if they're not working for free, they're working for wages that if we saw that happen in another country, we would be very critical of. When I was in prison, I worked for 17 cents an hour. That was my starting rate working in the kitchen.
Wow.
But there's also big corporations who invest in prison labor because they can get this labor for $1.50 an hour. And then the sad part about it is that in turn, they don't even hire these men and women when they're actually released from prison.
There you go. Hit pause. You see that? So there you go. You're working for 17 cents an hour. Then you probably, if it's a big corporation, $1.50.
That's the high end.
Right. That's like that. What was that movie? Coming to America.
Yeah.
When he said, "Then I'm gonna be on salads."
Yeah.
And that's when the big bucks start rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. $1.50. Then you happen to get out of jail and go to that same company and say, "Hey, can I do this?" That same. Oh no, we can't hire you. You're a felon.
Right. But you got all the skills and you know
You see
the
what I'm
skills
saying?
and the know-how.
Hey.
That just throw you right back in that loophole.
There you go.
Getting back out there.
There you go.
Get caught again.
That's right.
Why give you $50 an hour when I can give you $1.50?
Right.
Exactly. Oh man.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the hope deferred.
Yeah, that's hope
Yes.
deferred, 100%. And look at everybody that's telling these stories. They look like us.
Yeah.
Every single last one of them.
Yeah. Horrible. You know, hit play.
Everything in prison has inflated cost. You know, it costs us inside prison, when I was inside, anywhere between $3 and $15 for a 15-minute phone call. We don't have to pay that out here in free society.
That's right. Hit pause. So now that's what Luis was talking about. Remember, he was saying they keep you just enough. It give you just enough money. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of money, but they keep you right there.
Yeah,
bro.
Keep you always wanting.
You
right?
will work a month, bro, and only have enough. What I just heard him say.
There you go. Do
you
your math.
work a month and only have enough money to make one phone call.
That's right.
Damn.
That's
one
right.
phone call, bro.
Yeah.
That's the point. So you literally working for nothing.
Yeah.
That's the point. Go ahead, hit play.
There's a way that we can send emails to men and women inside prison, and it costs 5 cents every time we send that. Whereas out here in society, we can send emails without any charge. And so there's so many ways that the prison is exploited, the cheap labor, the cost of services and goods, and it's a model that, you know, sadly and unfortunately has affected a large segment of our society. But I think most people aren't aware of why the business models of prison exist, because most of our society has been left clueless in regards to how our judicial system works. And it's largely been to the effective campaigns that politicians have ran for years. This whole idea that one of the greatest fears you should have is crime in America. And when you're operating out of a space of fear, you're not thinking clearly. So you're not willing to examine things that are right in front of us. And so the way that the prison system has developed and evolved over the year is it originally started as government-ran, state-ran institutions.
Go ahead, hit pause, y'all. Y'all can drop that, right? We're gonna touch on what he's saying in a different video, right? But give me Isaiah 42 and 21. And this is why. And listen, we've been hearing this from our parents. We hearing from everybody, right? Oh, don't get in the streets. Don't mess with drugs. You know, we hear that. We like, yeah. But I gotta hustle, right? But this is what the Lord said right here, because you're not gonna get away with this, y'all. Is what we're saying. I want 42:22.
Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
This is a people robbed and spoiled. Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes.
This is the Israelites being talked about here, just in case y'all ain't know. Go ahead.
And they are hid in prison houses.
They're hid in prison houses. That's what it is. In the prison house, you're hidden in there. Why they say hidden? Because you ain't coming out.
Never.
Go ahead.
They are for prey.
They are for prey. Now, you in prison, you are prey. They're not talking about just from the other people that's in the prison. They talking about from the system itself. You're prey. Go ahead.
And none delivereth.
And none delivereth. Go ahead.
For a spoil.
For a spoil.
And none saith restore.
And none saith restore. Right? We got to remember these things, man. But go ahead. Y'all jumping in?
Yeah. I'm thinking like they said none can deliver. You see that young man? I'm pretty sure his mother loves him.
Right.
You know, he got loved ones, but they can do nothing to get him out of that system now.
Nothing.
They can do nothing.
Not a damn thing.
And the way they were talking was so coarse, man. They know what life in Florida means. But why would you say that on camera, on public? You know, to further destroy him and anyone that looked like him.
Yep.
You know, so
but you know what? The brother, it was a brother who was talking.
Yeah.
It It was a brother. You know, I'm not sure where he's from. He probably, if he's in Florida, maybe Cuban, maybe Puerto Rican, something like that. But you can see he was dark and all that. What he's doing is letting him know, hey, you messed up. We got you.
Yeah, this is it.
We got you. Because they did a heinous crime. And that guy in particular, he's sitting there like some kind of a saint. But he actually shot Julio Fulio the year before.
Oh, dang.
He had shot him already. I think shot him in his foot or something. He ain't kill him. So he went back and finished him. Now he in front of the camera trying to act like, you know, he didn't know what was going on and all. Yeah. And that's why they brought that heat to him like that. Like, yeah, you know, the prison population is aging out, but this guy right here, we're going to use you for your sweat equity. He's a perfect candidate. He was really drilling it home.
Man.
Yeah, he wanted to hurt him. Yeah, he wanted to hurt his feelings.
I felt it.
Of course.
Hell yeah. Because we done sat in circles in the prisons, bruh, and looking at them people in there, bruh, we really seen hope deferred in real time, bruh.
100%.
Can't help him.
Hope deferred in real time. I got prisoners walking me out the prison.
Right.
Bruh, do you know how bad that feels?
Man.
That felt terrible. I didn't like that. But, you know, being in there, give them some kind of, you know, upliftment. But it's different because when you're out here talking to people, they still got a chance to, you know, but when you're talking to people inside there that already made their mistake, 20, 30 years, life sentences, it's tough, man, because you got to, you know, just kind of teach them to keep the laws, you know, but they made their mistake already. So.
They would have to recalibrate their vision.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And had the vision be, okay, I'm gonna jump in this truth and I'm gonna push this inside here. Do what I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, to help whoever's around me. Because that's when we go to the prisons. That's what we want to be discussing inside there, right? For the brothers, some brothers is gonna come out, so we strengthening up from when they come out, they're gonna get with us, right? The brothers who may not come out, because you never know, right? Sometimes you get life, but you wind up doing 20-something because something happened. You know what I mean? Anything is possible, right? But for those who may not come out, then we want to strengthen them so they could keep those commandments and still teach inside. And, you know, gather our people inside. Lewis said something very strong. He said, you know, with the black and brown inside, that's a real powerful combination. But imagine, we know we're not going to get everybody, but imagine having at least a third of them in the truth. That's
in the inside.
Yeah, on the inside, super heavy. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing that the Lord is going to make happen, I believe, you know. Not that I'm trying to
change the whole dynamics of things, Cap.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That'll change the whole dynamics of the prison system.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah, 100%.
And prison culture spills over into the streets, as you see.
Right.
You know, so that's going to come right out. As it go in, it's going to come out even stronger.
Oh, yeah. We had brothers, I know we heard it already, brothers saying, oh, yeah, it was a brother who just got out and was like, oh, yeah, somebody was talking about y'all in there.
See?
You know what I mean? That was at camp. So we know that a little bit is getting in there. Yeah. You know, we starting to be up in there a little bit here and there, and they're like, okay, all right, let me see what y'all talking about. Yeah. You know, we correspond in the letters. They're like, all right, yeah, come through. Let's see what's up. So this is what it is. You know, this is our job, to go in there and get our people, you know, Lord willing, you know, if they don't get out, but they get this truth, hey, it is what it is. Watch this. Bring up number 7, y'all. Check this out. All right. So now this is a sister who was in the system, right? And she getting ready to listen. Yo, man. I heard this. I said, you can't make this up, man. You can't make this up, man. Y'all got that? Number 7. All right.
Well, a lot of people are calling it modern slavery. Does that feel
I
right?
was just about to say, that's slavery. That's slavery. You took away the whips, but you put the paperwork. Took away the masters and you put them in uniform. Same difference, same difference.
It kind of appears that there is a coordinated system in order to protect the labor that's created by the prison system.
Walk into a McDonald's in Alabama, and the worker flipping your McDouble could be an incarcerated person.
Pause. Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
That's crazy.
So now they taking the people out of the prisons, bro, right? And letting them go and work in Mickey D's. And that ain't it. Hit play.
It's a sad situation, a way they getting rich off us.
The Alabama Department of Corrections farms out incarcerated people to work at hundreds of private companies and government agencies across the state.
McDonald's, Burger King, Golden Corral, Wendy's. They got a Wendy's contract right now. State Trooper's office.
They'll send everybody everywhere.
They'll send you everywhere. Yes, the parole office.
And even though ADOC trusts these incarcerated people to leave prison every day and work alongside the general public, many of them are still denied the chance at real freedom.
Pause, stay right there. So now they let them go out, go to McDonald's, Wendy's, Golden Corral, whatever the case may be. They actually leave the prison, go in there, they're working there, right? Free. When I say free, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, free.
They're there. They could do anything at that point, right?
Yeah.
But like she said, they trust them to go work there, right? And then they don't give them parole. Those same people, when they come up for parole, it's a paroles hit historic lows. And why is that? Because, like you said, instead of paying, you use the $50, but let's say it's McDonald's and it's 20-something an hour, right? Because I think they would, let's say it's 20-something an hour.
Right.
Why pay that when we paying $1.50?
$1.50 for you. That's like, bro, they recycling their money.
Right.
Recycling it on the backs of the people that's in there.
Yep. Man, I'm telling you, this is insane. But I wanted to show y'all that because this is how deep this thing is getting, right? Watch this. Hey, bring up number 11. We looking through these videos, and it was like a little nugget in each of them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this hey, I'm telling you, most of, who's watching the show, a lot of us, we all in the truth, but those of y'all who might be hearing this for the first time and y'all not in the truth, y'all might not be too sure. Man, the Israelites, it's I see them guys, but I ain't really following them, but they cool, you know what I mean? And y'all might still be in the street messing around. I'm telling you, we letting everybody know, y'all got to stop this street game. There's nothing left. There's nothing to get out of it. Before people would think, like, remember when Luis was saying that the brother said that at least he get 2 years.
Yeah.
See, at least he knows that's all you're getting, right? Because when you really look back at all the hustlers, right, you hear all these stories, all these guys, very few of them lasted more than 3 years.
Yeah.
They just been doing so much in them 3 years, it seemed like they was around for 20 years.
Yep.
But it was just living a movie. So it's just a lot was going on. But most of them, 3 years. The big guys, okay, they've been around 20 years, right? But then they go to jail forever.
Yep.
Or they get murdered.
Yep. Or they start cooperating with the people,
man,
and get to rolling over on everybody else.
Yo, bro, listen, I was just talking the other day about this guy. I don't know if y'all remember this dude. He made this song. It was called Hell to the Na-Na. Hell to the Na-Na. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Yo, y'all, I see y'all laughing back there. Y'all remember that song? That guy right there told on everybody in New York. He put many big-time dudes in jail for life in 20-something years. You would know that. It looked like he just an older guy making a funny song.
Yeah.
No, he was hustling with some big dudes. He wound up getting caught for something not related to them.
Yeah.
They was going to give him a little bit of time, a little 3 years or something like that for him to go sit down. He know all the things he been doing. So, damn, you'd get 3 years. You're like, okay, they ain't never know about what the hell I was doing. Let me go take this 3. I'll probably get out in a year.
Yep.
You know what he did?
Rolled over.
He told. They never even asked him, oh, you down with them guys? They didn't know nothing about it. I got something for you. Hell to the na-na. I ain't going to jail.
He said, I ain't going to jail. No,
Yeah.
no.
I can't remember the guy's name. I never really, because the song was like a comedy type song.
Yeah, it
to
was
me.
always funny when I heard it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, brother, if you out there and you trying to repent and come into the Israelites, then please come. I am talking about you. But yeah, you was telling. You told.
Yeah, you was telling.
He told. Huh? Bishop Bullwinkle? That's his name? Yeah. Bishop Bullwinkle. Yeah, he told. But just going back into what you were saying, when y'all playing around in the streets, y'all got to understand that is really a part of the game as well. Because right now you're looking at it like, oh, why he telling? Yeah, he's going to tell. Whoever gets caught first is going to tell.
Yeah. Gonna roll over.
Yeah, they're going to get the best deal.
And it ain't even like the police don't know who all out there doing it already.
Exactly.
They know who doing it.
Right.
Look, they just use, it's all different type of ways to put us against each other. That's all that it is, man.
Right.
No matter what it is we doing, they want us fighting against each other.
Yep.
No matter what.
Oh man, I'll tell you. Y'all got number 11? All right, bring that up right quick.
Many Americans learn about white resistance to African American freedom that followed the Civil War and the Reconstruction era. Jim Crow laws, lynchings, and the Ku Klux Klan are some of the well-known chapters of racial terrorism in U.S. history. But America is not telling the full history. An important but little-known effort to bring back slavery after the Civil War has been passed over, left unexplained, and swept under the rug. After the Civil War devastated the South, its prison system became the testing ground for crafting a reincarnation of slavery. Convict leasing was a system in which Southern states leased prisoners to private businesses. Convict leasing criminalized and essentially re-enslaved black men, women, and even children who had been deemed free and equal by the Constitution.
Pause it.
Did y'all hear that?
Man.
It said re-enslaved black men, women, and children.
Right.
What the hell would a child have to
right
do?
there.
Right. How do kids get into a prison system to go do work? To let you know that this thing right here was, because let me add this. Before 1863, before we got freed, right? Before black people was freed, right? The prisons mainly had white people in them.
Yeah.
There was really no black people in prison because they was already slaves, and what rules they breaking? They slaves. The prisons only had white people in them. So now it's another video I'm gonna show y'all as to how this even happened. And listen, man, this is sickening. Bottom line is, because I don't want to give away what we're getting ready to see, but the bottom line is, look at all these kids right here, man.
Kids, man.
This is supposed to be in prison. This is slavery right here, still going on.
Yeah. Yep.
And remember that thing we read about the black codes and all that when they was putting you in jail for just like breathing.
Yeah, if you didn't have a job.
Yeah, right.
They just put you in jail.
Yeah. They'd be like, oh, did you breathe through your left nostril just now? Is that what I seen?
Yeah.
Oh, you breathe through your your left nostril. Get him. That's 2 years for you.
Bruh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy work. You get caught without any ID, you're going to prison.
Yeah. Right.
They can't, man.
Let me play this for y'all real quick. I think it's this one. Hey, y'all, play number 12. Play number 12. I think it's this one. Hell to the nah.
We now return to Chain Gangs on History's Mysteries.
January 31st, 1865. Congress ratifies the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, officially freeing all slaves.
The whites were confronted with the fact that 4 million people who yesterday had been their property were free people who would enter social life, the labor market, and perhaps even the political process.
Emancipation leaves the southern plantation farming system in chaos. Unable to entice or coerce former slaves to stay on, plantation owners turn to the government for help. It comes in the form of a new set of restrictive laws known as the Black Codes.
There's no way you can retract the freedom that's been given by the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendments, but what you can try to do is to limit it as much as possible, and that's what the Black Codes do.
White legislators create scores of new laws aimed solely at blacks that impose long prison sentences for petty larceny, mischief, insulting gestures, cruel treatment.
Insulting gestures. You got a big nose. Go to jail.
That means you look at them wrong.
That's
You
right.
gone.
Reckless eyeballing and all that. Right? Hit play.
Of animals and even intent to steal.
Intent.
How do you know somebody intends
Right.
to steal?
Yeah, they reading minds now. Nigga, I seen you looking at that cotton. You want to pick it. You got money. Yeah. You want to pick it and keep it. Hit prison.
Freed slaves find that they can be arrested at any time for virtually any reason. The population of southern prisons skyrockets, jumping 72% between 1860 and 1870.
Y'all heard that? That's what hold on. So the prison population jumped up 70-something%, right? Because there was no Jakes in there, right? So now Watch this. Hit play.
War-torn states possess neither the facilities nor the finances to handle this sudden influx.
I want y'all to hear that. That's the key. That because there wasn't that many people in prisons, right? Because if y'all don't know, United States has the biggest prison system in the world.
Yep.
Right?
Damn.
We in prison for everything, right? I think, matter of fact, they said that United States has more people in prison than the rest of the entire planet has in their prisons.
They do.
Think about that, right? So they said that there was no infrastructure. There wasn't really prisons like that to handle all of this influx of really ex-slaves that they about to put into the prisons. So watch this.
Many of the prisons that did exist in the South were too small because they had been constructed for that small group of whites prior to the Civil War, and they couldn't handle the new influx of African-American convicts.
December 28th, 1866.
Hold on for a second.
Which wasn't convicts, by the way.
Thank you. Bro, you listen, you took that right out, bruh. What convict? They ain't get convicted of nothing.
Nothing, bro.
Yo, oh my God.
He went to jail for whistling. What type of crime is that, bro?
That's crazy.
Bruh. He went to jail for whistling.
Bruh.
You was off key, my man. Get him. Cuffs.
He was trying to turn this whites only pie into nigga pie.
Right. Yo.
Cuss for you.
Chap lips.
You offended me.
Yo, Esau's the devil. Yo, hit
All
play.
the way.
Faced with dangerously overcrowded prisons, the Georgia legislature passes a law to farm out the penitentiary. Other southern states quickly follow suit, creating a network.
Hold on. I want to make sure that y'all heard that. They said they passed the law to farm out the penitentiary, right? Hit play.
Known as the convict lease system. They are now legally entitled to chain together their convict populations and lease them out to the highest bidders.
That's crazy.
See that? Lease them out to the highest bidders, right? So that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
Right? So this is back, what, 1800s, y'all?
Yeah.
This is 2026. This is a real thing.
So they was probably getting 2 cents a day there.
Bruh, I don't think they was getting a damn thing.
They probably happy to be outside.
Yeah.
Wait till y'all see. You just said something. Outside? Watch this. Hit play.
The convict lease system was a privatized system of prison labor. When prisoners were convicted in court, they were sent to the penitentiary, but it was a virtual penitentiary. They never entered into a prison.
Stop. Did y'all hear that?
Yep.
So they got convicted and was supposed to be sentenced to the penitentiary. He went, quote unquote, because it was a virtual penitentiary because they actually never went into a building at any time.
They just slaves.
They just slaves and went out there to the cotton fields. They went out there to all them different places. I think he's going to say it. Hit play.
Immediately were slapped in chains and sent, for instance, to the coal mines in northwest Georgia, where they then were imprisoned in a stockade and spent their days working inside the coal mines for a private entrepreneur, not for the state.
Right. So hip. So you got all these Edomites, all these white people out here talking about how industrious they are, and they came to this country and my parents, they never had slaves. My family never had slaves. But you see, that's how you talk when you got this going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because technically, they didn't own slaves. They leased them.
Yeah.
Right. They leased them. Right? They had timeshare. It was timeshare niggas.
Damn. Yeah.
You can't make it up. Okay?
Yeah.
Listen, go ahead.
Nothing.
This is what I was seeing on like the movie Life. Like we see those movies, we laughed through the whole movie, but didn't pay attention to the jobs they was doing, like the farming that you noticed they was doing, and what they were doing in-home care.
Yep.
You know, they was they was working all kind of places, and they end up never really getting out in that movie. But the funny part kind of overshadows
the realness.
What we see in here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
We looking at them laughing, but that stuff was really real, man.
Oh man,
They wouldn't get nothing out of it. Nothing out of it. And they wasn't even convicts.
One of them got leased to play baseball.
Oh
you
man,
remember that?
Right.
You know, yeah.
But you know what's crazy about that, right? They put that in the movie because I don't know if y'all ever knew this guy. His name was Chet Lemon. Find that, Chet Lemon, right? He was a baseball player for the Detroit Tigers, right? So I was growing up, Chet Lemon was one of them guys, right? When I got to be more grown, they made a movie about Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon came out of prison. They found out about him in prison. Look at this. Chet Lemon. Click on that. The kid said Chet Lemon. It don't sound like a real name.
No.
But Chet Lemon, right? Read that real quick.
Chester Earl Lemon.
Right. So if your name was Chester, you would want to be called Chet too. Go ahead.
Was an American professional baseball outfielder. He played 16 seasons in Major League Baseball, beginning with the Chicago White Sox in 1975, where he played for 6 years. He was then traded to the Detroit Tigers, where he played the rest of his career from 1982 to 1990.
Now scroll down, right? Scroll down.
Let me find out this can't get right, bro.
What? Scroll. Keep scrolling. They're going to have how he got started because they made a whole movie about him because it was so crazy. All right, y'all scrolling slow as hell. Personal life. Oh, no, scroll down. Damn. They don't got his beginnings? That's weird. He got the wildest story of all time. All right, well, listen, I'm going to tell y'all the story because I know about it, right? So what happened was he was in a criminal lifestyle, right? And he wound up robbing with a check cashing place. Got caught, had to do some time. Now, while he's inside, they got a baseball thing going on. So he started playing baseball. One of the, I want to say it was one of the big time managers at that time, Billy Martin, he knew somebody and that person was in there and seen him in there and was like, yo, this guy's a raw talent. Here's another thing. The man never played baseball in his life.
Yeah, that's can't get right.
Yep.
You said can't get.
Oh, yeah, on the movie, that's exactly how they found him. He never played baseball a day in his life.
Right. They based that on him.
Yeah, they had to.
Yep. He had gotten in trouble a couple times, but this is the first time he actually had to go to prison. Never played. Started smashing, and then somebody said, "Yo, why don't you? I'm gonna get you a tryout." And when he got that tryout, he got signed.
Yeah.
And so that was his life. Yeah.
That's just how it happened in life.
They just made him mentally challenged. That's it.
Right.
That's how they changed it. You know?
Yeah. Try to make because this guy was mentally challenged. He was, he was a wild boy. But even when he got in the league, he still had a little bit of roughness to him and all that. So he was getting a little trouble here and there, but putting up crazy numbers and all that. But the point is, you brought out that they even farmed him out in baseball.
Yeah.
So they were doing that inside. So that probably was lingering.
Yeah.
Because the movie Life, they knew the history. So they probably took his life and then put it in there. But there was a history of that where they would use him for all their talents. So, baseball was huge.
Yeah.
And Judah was in baseball heavy back then. You know what I'm saying? So they went and got him, and he did damage out there.
You remember that last scene when he found out that that was his dad watch. He was like, "That's my daddy watch" or whatever.
Right.
And they found out that he didn't do it. You remember what the warden said? He said, "At least the state got a few good years of cheap labor out of it."
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can pull that clip. He said that, and it just hit. It resonate right now as we talking about that. It's like really the history of what we saying. They put it in a little funny.
They put it in a movie. Yeah. That's amazing. Who wrote that movie anyway?
I know that's it. I wonder
because now that we talking about it, was a number of brothers in there, but I don't know if brothers actually wrote that.
I don't know who wrote it, but it was a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, somebody look that up. Look up the movie Life. Because I'll be honest with y'all, I don't like Life. I was sad when I seen Life.
Yeah, me too.
Although it was a comedy, I was watching it and I wasn't laughing at none of it. Like I was getting upset watching it. Since I watched it one time, I've never ever watched it again. Because they started off, they was just chilling in the beginning. They got bagged up, and then they went to jail and never came home until later. Man. They was old at Yankee Stadium or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they was from Harlem or something, right? Yo, I was mad as hell watching that movie. I said, no, I don't like this. This making me sad. Yeah. It made me sad and not glad.
Bruh.
Yeah.
For real.
For real. Y'all found that thing? Okay. Hey, bring up number 10 while y'all looking. Robert Ramsey's. Yeah? Is that a brother?
Is that a brother?
Robert Ramsey and Matthew Stone. Yeah, let's find out if they Jakes or not. I don't know. Robert Ramsey, that sound
Matthew Stone sound like a white dude.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Oh, that's what it was. Hey, y'all, I apologize. The reason we didn't find that information on Chet Lemon, because it was not Chet Lemon, it was Ron LaFleur. That's the brother's name, because I said the Detroit Tigers. And then when I seen him with Chicago White Sox, I said, damn, I don't remember him on the White Sox. Ron LaFleur. He was on the Tigers. All praises. Shout out to Christian putting me on. Yeah, Ron LaFleur. Y'all look up Ron LaFleur. That's who it was. Matt Stone, they brothers? Okay, so it's two Edomites. So first we're going to take a look at Ron LaFleur. This is the brother I was telling y'all about. Forget Chet Lemon. We cracked on his name. I'm sorry, Chet. All right. Chet Lemon was good, though. Right? So now, check this out. And I should have known, too, because it said 16 seasons. I said 16 seasons? I didn't know he was in there that long. But check that out. Read that real quick.
Ronald LaFleur is an American former Major League Baseball center fielder. He played 6 seasons with the Detroit Tigers before being traded to the Montreal Expos. LaFleur retired with the Chicago White Sox in 1982. He stole 455 bases.
Because he used to steal in real life.
He looked crazy.
And he was a base stealer. Go ahead.
He stole 455 bases in his career and was an American League All-Star selection in 1976.
Right. Go ahead. There you go. So he was at Jackson State Penitentiary, right? But scroll down because it should get to his whole
drug dealer.
Right.
All highlighted in blue.
Yeah, there you go.
Heroin.
Go ahead.
Unemployed alcoholic.
Early life. LaFleur was born in Detroit, Michigan, and was arrested at an early age. Although his parents, John and Georgia LaFleur, were married, his father was an unemployed alcoholic who barely took part in family life. His mother was a hardworking nurse's aide who held the family together financially and physically, even feeding Ron while he was a heroin addict and small-time drug dealer.
Right. Scroll.
You know what that
All right,
remind
there you
me
go.
of? That remind me of Willie Lynch and the Making of a Slave right there.
Damn.
Take the house and flip it upside down. Now the mother is the provider. Whew.
Right. But go ahead, bro.
Incarcerated on April 28, 1970, the first organized baseball league LaFleur played in was for inmates. Jimmy Carrella, a fellow inmate who was in prison for extortion, convinced his longtime friend Jimmy Barkers, whatever,
Zaccai, bro.
Zaccai, who co-owned a Detroit bar frequented by Detroit sports celebrities, to speak to his good friend Billy Martin.
Right. So that's the guy I was telling you about, Billy Martin. He was a big-time manager for the Tigers and then went on to manage the Yankees, and he was like a real superstar manager at that time. But go ahead.
Then manager of the Detroit Tigers, to ask him to observe LaFleur. Martin visited Jackson State Prison on May 23, 1973. Martin then helped LaFleur get permission for a day parole and a tryout at Tiger Stadium in June.
Right. So you see what was going on? You had Major League Baseball going into the penitentiary.
Looking for talent.
And it said, hey, could we get a day parole? They was like, of course you can. Now, we don't even know what happened behind the scenes. Well, read this, because now that we're getting into this, we got to think differently about it. But read it say in July.
In July 1973, the Tigers signed LaFleur to a contract which enabled him to meet the conditions for parole. He was paid $5,000 bonus and $500 per month for the rest of the 1973 season.
So now I'm going to jump up and say that is a baby amount of money.
Yes, it is.
Right? To play some baseball, even in the minor leagues. But I know they wasn't getting no big-time money like that. But just to let you know that they got him on a $5,000 bonus and $500 a month for the rest of the season. The season ain't but 5 months? Right? So they got him pretty cheap. Right? And so when you and again, y'all, the numbers wasn't big like how it is now in baseball. Dudes is making $40 million a year, $30 million. It wasn't nothing like that. Back then, I think in the 70s, the highest paid dude probably was making $1 million, right? But that's a baby amount of money.
Yeah.
But the point is now we don't even know if maybe the Tigers might have threw some money into the prison system. We don't know what. Now that we hearing all what we going on, you know what I mean? It's something underneath there, but maybe that's something we need to look into. you know, and really see. But y'all could drop that. But just as y'all brought that up, I said, oh shoot, that's the brother, Ron LaFleur. That's his story.
Yeah.
Man, that's real crazy. Hey, bring up number 10 real quick, y'all.
Jimmy went into the prison system to look for some buster carries.
Buster carries.
Yeah. Some buster carries.
They had some toe up names back then.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Dick Buttkiss.
Oh man, that's
terrible.
the worst.
Yeah, they put that in a rap. Remember them guys? He said, you got a bad name like Dick Buttkiss. Yo. Y'all got number 10?
Yo.
All right, play that real quick.
The labor system that took shape in the late 19th century developed coercive means to ensure that cotton remained king. It was called convict leasing. Get arrested on a minor charge or a trumped-up charge, you could find yourself locked up and then hired out to a corporation bidding on inmate labor. The pipeline from prisons to profits in this country has deep roots.
The aftermath of slavery was in some ways worse than slavery itself. Unlike before, when someone who owned you, driving you too hard was counterproductive because you would lose your investment. Convict leasing was different. You could get them cheaper, and if you actually drove them to death, there was more where that came from.
Oh, you see that? You see that? If you drove them to death, there was more where that came from, because we just gonna arrest somebody for picking their nose. You know, that's what it was. Back then, when you had to pay for the slaves, they had to make sure they kept them, you know, at least healthy.
Yeah.
But now it's like, man, we don't give a damn. That's why they were so happy. Notice that picture that they showed when they did away with slavery and everybody was celebrating.
Yeah.
They were celebrating because they like, yo, we about to get free labor again. This is about to be, because not only we going to save money on really feeding them and yo, this was a good system for them.
New system.
Yeah. But go ahead. Hit play,
The
y'all.
13th Amendment, which ends the institution of slavery, of course, there is a loophole. Convicts who have been convicted of a crime, they actually can be forced to work for free.
In Alabama in 1850, 99% of the people who were incarcerated were white. In Alabama by the 1880s, 85% of the people incarcerated were black. So we could have a debate about how many of those black people were actually innocent, or we could have a conversation about the use of the criminal justice system to target both the innocent and the guilty alike. That continues all the way to the present, where even today, about just under 40% of the nation's prisoners are black, and yet the African American population is about 13%.
Right.
They are snatching up bodies.
Pause. That's what Luis brought up.
Mhm.
He brought up those exact numbers. Right? Hit play.
Everywhere to fuel this system.
Damn, $3 billion in revenue. And I think we brought this out before.
The idea in which more money can be made out of their incarceration is still very much part of our criminal justice system.
Hey, so hold on a second. Right. Yes. No, I just got sister just hit us and said go back. Remember we had paused it before. I think it was a few shows ago, and it showed the long list of all the things you could be arrested for.
Yes.
Yo, that was super quick. I think it's in there. Go there real quick again. Go there and listen. I sent y'all something online. Wait till y'all see this I'm sorry, class content. Bring up that last one as well. There you go. Remember this, y'all?
Yes.
Look at that. Right? Remember, misspending one's earnings.
Yep. Disorderly conduct.
Right, but hold on. How you gonna say, well, listen, you bought Oreos. You should have just bought some more bread. Put them in jail.
Yep.
Right? Remember, preaching the gospel without a license.
Yep. Insulting gestures. Whistling.
Right. Begging.
Pilfering.
Oh, man.
Unlawful games.
Yo. Pilfering. What's pilfering again? Hold on.
That's stealing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, pilfering. I was about to say pause. That sounded crazy as hell.
Oh, man.
Yo. Hey, yo.
Oh,
drop
man.
that and bring that last thing up we put up on class content, right? Because we were trying to figure out did Major League Baseball have something going on? Because it seems strange to just go in there like that, right? Yeah. Even if somebody said it was a good play in here, you'd be like, so what? You know what I mean? When he getting out, when he get out, then maybe we can deal with him. Y'all got that? All right. Because every time I send y'all something, it always come up different for y'all for some reason. Go ahead.
Major League Baseball never had an official deal or draft program with prisons. However, in the past, professional scouts occasionally signed exceptionally talented inmates directly out of prison, and Major League barnstorming teams regularly visited facilities to play.
I'm gonna read what I have. For some reason, whenever I send y'all something, it comes up different when y'all have it. I'm not too sure why that is. All right, but I'm gonna read what's here. It says Major League Baseball never had an official formalized contract deal with prisons to recruit players. However, individual minor and major league teams have historically scouted, signed, and developed standout players who learned or owned their craft while incarcerated. And then they named Ron LaFleur. But they named a few other guys. They said there was no pipeline, but there were several high-profile deals and interactions. So what do you think a deal is?
Right.
The deal is not between the player and the league. The deal is between the prison and the league.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And these are the things I'm telling you. You can't make this up. Let me see. They reference Folsom and San Quentin. They said historically MLB teams and touring all-stars frequently visited those areas. We think they wasn't playing each other. They played. They were watching them guys in there. So these are the things, our family. We don't know all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So the industrial prison complex. I think I'm saying that wrong, but they have a deal with whomever, like the Wendy's, like she said, even the state. What she said, the parole board, all of that, right? I'm telling you, we got to keep this is why the Lord said, keep the commandments, man. To stay away from this. That's Romans 13 and all of that, man.
Yep. Prisons is the new and old staffing agency.
Right.
Sending you out to work for quarters.
Yeah. You be lucky to get some quarters.
It's more like what Officer Judah said. They be just happy to be outside of them walls, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Out there
happy
cutting
to
that
breathe
grass.
some fresh air, bro.
They let you on that mower.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You out there having a good time, then you got to go back. You ain't made no money.
No.
You know, you got enough money to get you a couple deodorants. You
Right,
know,
right.
everything's marked up.
Right.
You know, so you trap, man.
Super trap, you know. And all right, so hold on. We're gonna touch something real quick. Right? And one thing we wanted to touch on real quick tonight, outside of that, but I think maybe we should probably, I don't know. We was gonna talk about that redistricting and all that crazy stuff by these politicians. All these black politicians getting crazy. Oh, they're redistricting and now it's no longer a Democratic state. It's a Republican. And we told y'all clowns a long time ago, stop this voting.
We told you.
I don't understand why don't y'all want to come to this Bible? What? Don't worry about it. See, we wear the purple. Those guys are weird. They're strange and very militant. Don't worry about that, y'all. Don't join us then, right? Don't join us. Why don't y'all just keep the commandments, Adam? Do something. Learn the Bible, man. The Lord said don't vote. Can we get that, please? Somebody pull a scripture.
Yeah. Where you at? Oh, pull it.
You over there?
Come on. Yeah, I couldn't see him either. But while we waiting on that, Alvin Israel in the super chat for $20.
Oh, damn, hey, we forgot to reference the super chat tonight. Thank you, Alvin. All praises, man. Appreciate it.
Tobit Israel in the super chat, $10.
All right, all praises. Who's that?
Tobit Israel.
Tobit. All right, all praises.
And my man Bass Reeves.
Oh yeah, Bass Reeves.
$100.
All praises, Bass Reeves, man. All praises.
Shout out
coming
to
through
Bass.
for us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout it out. And we forgot to mention that, super chat. We got so involved in the conversation with Luis tonight. Hey, y'all better come up with something. You know what y'all got to do? Y'all got to make a lower third about that or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all leaving it to us. We got to remember every damn thing. They don't want to help us at all. You know what I'm saying? Won't y'all use y'all computer skills to create a lower third or something? Help us out, man. Come on. We can't remember it all, right? But play this, y'all. I think hold on, let me see. Yeah, play this thing right here because a lot of us probably don't know what that redistricting actually is, right? Most of us, hopefully everybody who watching, again, some of y'all might not really be in the truth like that, all right? But the Lord tells us that we should not be voting. So we don't vote at all, right? And even if you're not in the truth, you should have been smart enough to never vote because your vote don't count. Right. When we bring up electoral college and saying that the electoral college picks the president, then we got some coons that's going to come back and say, okay, well, that's that. But what about your local level? Your local level, you listen, shut up. Even if you have some power to get somebody in, let's say the vote counts and you get them in office. What are they doing for us?
Nothing.
Nothing's happened.
Hands is tied.
Yeah. Y'all been to Oakland lately? Terrible.
Yeah.
Ain't there a black mayor over there? They've been black mayors the whole time.
Yeah.
Zero. Nothing's happening.
Shut up.
Right? Because clearly it's out of their hands, right? This is a bigger plan, bigger than any politician. Right. They're not doing anything but taking orders. They can't move. So what's the point? Keep the commandments and live. You know what I'm saying? Gather yourselves together, own nation, not desire. We didn't get a chance to really pull it when you called it.
Yeah.
But we use that every show. We got to pull that scripture to keep our minds right. But play number 19, y'all. Play number 19. Go ahead, y'all. Y'all got it? All right.
Is President Trump trying to bury your vote? And are Democratic states trying to do the exact same thing?
Are you calling then for a complete redrawing of the congressional map ahead of next year? Just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
These 9 states are looking at redistricting. That's going to affect you, even if you don't live in one of these states. Republican, Democrat, everyone is affected by redistricting. Redistricting is when a state redraws its congressional map. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, how you vote. You live in one congressional district and you have one person representing you in the U.S. House. There are 435 representatives in the House from Hawaii to Maine, and one of them represents you. Congressional districts are based on population, and they try to have an even population in each district. And that's why congressional maps look like this instead of this. Every 10 years, we fill out the census, and that's how the states know their population and how many people live where. And then they redraw or redistrict based on those population changes. Sometimes a state will either gain or lose a seat or multiple seats based on population. Totally valid. But here we are in 2025.
She said totally valid, right? She's only saying totally valid because that was the law that they put in. Right. But how is it valid? If you actually have a real, true, how can I say, equitable voting system, then that doesn't make sense. Why would you have to keep redrawing the lines according to the population change, right? What they're trying to tell you is the voting goes by what? Race, the amount of money you make, so on and so forth. That's what they're doing. Why would you have to switch it up every 10 years? Because this is a setup, right? She says redistricting or cheating. Come on, sis. What are we talking about right now? You know, I know she's just I don't know if she's being a devil's advocate. No, she worked for Fox, so no. This is just clown work, but hit play.
Districting with no new census, no new certified population changes, which does happen sometimes because this is more of a state thing than a federal thing.
Right. So watch. She's saying that generally it happens due to the fact of when there's a census, but these changes are coming when there's no census. Then she says, well, you know, that's cool too because it's up to the state. Which one is it, sis? Why do we get involved when we got to keep playing games without morality? Don't. It's like, oh man. It's very tiring. Our people, we gotta separate from this man. Yeah. We have to separate from these people because we start taking on their dumbass traits. You know what I mean? She's probably a smart sister, but now she's talking stupid. You see what I'm saying? It can't be both. Hit play.
And the states do their own thing when it comes to the redistricting thing. So is your vote getting buried? Let's go to the maps. This district in Texas tends to vote Democrat. This district in California tends to vote Republican. Now, how do you change that? Usually it's one of two ways. One, you get voters to change their minds, or you change who is voting where. If you redraw or redistrict, you can cut a district into a different shape so that it includes the voters that you want because they vote the way you want. Now, if that is your intention, that is gerrymandering, and that is illegal because the redistricting.
Why would that not be your intention if you're doing it? Right. You see what I'm saying? Like, why are we playing games? Why are we playing games? Gerrymandering. Now they want to use words that they don't ever enforce. It's never going to be enforced. Right. So while we talk, but we just bringing this up, y'all, for y'all to understand the Lord don't want us to have nothing to do with this wicked system.
Yep.
This does not make sense. You're not going to get into politics and say, I'm going to make change. No, you're not.
Nah. That position is to maintain the state of this world. Period.
Yeah.
That's it.
Every time you get close to change, they gonna make change.
Yep.
They gonna
That's
move
the
that
point.
goalpost.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yep. They enjoy it.
They ain't learned yet.
No, they enjoy it. They enjoy it. Hey, Officer Ezra, you got that scripture?
Deuteronomy.
Yeah, Deuteronomy.
About voting.
Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are about me.
See that? The Lord didn't never want us to have a king. Right. Our people begged for a king. He gave them King Saul, right?
Yep.
Things went bad. See, when you read the scriptures, when the Lord picked King Saul, remember what it said? King Saul was the most goodliest, right? Meaning he had a real beautiful spirit about him, right? He was good to look upon. He was a humble guy, right? He was like, oh man, me, like I come from the smallest family and the smallest tribe and this and that, right? So people might look at it and say, well, what went wrong? Oh no, the Lord made King Saul go bad just to prove a point to Israel. No, King Saul was a great guy. But when he became the king, guess what? The power is what brought those spirits out of him. So the Lord know about having a king over you or having a president or having these Congress people. They got power that they're not supposed to have. And they're going to move on you because they have the power to do so.
Mm-hmm.
You see? But go ahead, read on.
Verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Right. You should not set a stranger over you. Right? In the beginning, the Lord didn't want us to have no king over us, period. But Israel begged and begged and begged. Said, all right, cool. Let me do this. But y'all going to find out what it is. But you're never supposed to have one of another nation over you. Why? Because you're never going to keep the commandments. Right. You're never going to do what the Lord said. And that's what happened to us when you read in 1 Maccabees. Right? It said the wicked of our people did what? They shed the glory of even the priesthood. Yeah. To do what? To join unto the religion of the Greeks, which is what? Democracy. See, when you read in matter of fact, let's get that real quick, right? Because a lot of times people never really give that a real thought. Why did the scriptures call it a religion? Right? You know what I want, right? Huh? Yeah, 1 Maccabees 1. Like 40 something. Yeah, 41.
Bring it out.
Yeah, starting 41, we're going 41, 43.
1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41.
Come on.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Right. First, it talked about what? It said his religion. His religion of what? Joining all people together as one. That's democracy. But why was it called a religion? Right? Because when you really consider it, think about Christianity. Is Christianity not democracy? Really?
Yeah, they want everybody to be one people.
Right. It's a religion, right? This politics, what they call in politics, that's their religious. Christianity and politics and democracy and all that garbage, it's all religion. That's why the Lord don't want you to deal with it. You have to deal with what? The laws of God and keep them things. Yeah. You know? Yeah. These are the things we got to understand. You want to bring something out?
Just in that same history, how Jason, he was trying to take the priesthood.
Oh, man.
There was political power behind that.
That's right.
And then after he couldn't get the priesthood, he got it snatched from him. The other men, what did he want to get after that? He wanted to be in government.
A governor.
He wanted to be a governor. So that politics go hand in hand. Y'all want to get in that politics, take you further away from God.
That's right.
All the time. It's historical historical on it.
Historical history.
It's
All the way.
historical history.
In the biblical Bible.
Yeah, in the biblical
Bible.
For your mental mind.
Your mental mind.
Shout out, Officer.
Your mental mentality. Yo, crazy. Hey, bring this last thing up. That thing that I dropped in class content. Watch this, and we going right back to that 13th Amendment because we got to show y'all this. Y'all have to see this.
For your mental mind.
For your
It's
mental
crazy.
mind.
Shout out to Sister Nasiah, $20 in the super chat.
Hey, shout out to the sis. All praises.
B. Josiah's, $10 in the super chat.
All praises.
Modest Gems, $10 in the super chat.
Modest Gems. All right, all praises.
Shout
to the
out,
Lord.
shout out to y'all. Y'all got it? I just bought y'all some time.
Oh man, you did a good job for them. Look at this, y'all.
95 bodies suspected to be Jim Crow era forced laborers found in Texas.
So we're going back to Texas, and this is the first thing that Luis brought up about his mom picking cotton in Texas.
Yep.
Go ahead. Scroll, y'all. All right.
Archaeologists in Houston suburb of Sugar Land are exhuming and testing the remains of 95 people believed to be African American convicts forced to work the sugarcane fields during the Jim Crow era. The grave sites were uncovered in April during the construction of a new school on the former site of the Imperial State Farm Prison.
Hey, y'all, and you know, Sugarland. Remember when we saw the picture of those kids? That's Sugarland.
Damn.
All right, just to let y'all know. So we actually saw those pictures on that plantation. Go ahead.
A notorious penitentiary named for the Imperial Sugar Company. Once the nation's leading sugar producer.
I'm pretty sure they was with all that free labor. And their family members is probably rich out the wazoo to this day.
Oh, you better believe it.
Go ahead.
As reported in the Washington Post, officials from the Fort Bend Independent School District decided to call archaeologists to the construction site for the new building after a worker saw what looked like a human bone protruding from the dirt. The officials had been alerted to the possibility of burials by Reginald Moore, a Houston native who began researching the history of the site more than 2 decades ago, after working briefly as a guard at the state prison. Now a thriving city of some 90,000 people, known for its diversity and top-notch public schools, Sugarland was originally part of a tract of more than 97,000 acres that Mexico's government granted to Stephen F. Austin in 1823.
So wait a minute. We supposed to believe that the Mexican government granted land? Or was it just stolen again? Like, what we talking about right now? This is sound ridiculous. Hey, somebody look that up while this is being read. Go ahead.
With Austin's help, some 300 American families soon settled there. The first sugar plantations began operating in the 1830s, and by the 1850s, the area would be an integral part of what became known as the Sugar Bowl of Texas.
All right, so we good. You ain't got to read no more, right? But this is what we're looking at, y'all. Look at this. This is wow. Scroll up so we can see the pictures of the actual. No, up to the top. There you go. That's where they were finding all the bodies. Right. So this is it. You know, worked them to death. Remember what they said? It didn't matter if they worked them to death because they had more coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
And they didn't actually spend that top dollar on them. Like
That's
that.
right.
Constant inflow. They got black men and Hispanic men jaywalking every day.
Right.
You know, and they're just going to keep pouring it into that prison system. And then now that's more incentive to push that rap music on your children.
There you go.
Yep.
You know, more incentive to push drug use into your community.
Yep.
And it's all to get you in that system for that free labor.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. You know, go ahead.
That's why it ain't a crime for a dude to fool another man into thinking he a woman.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pause.
That should be a crime, man.
That's definitely a crime.
That should be a crime, man.
Yeah.
If you fool me, you should be fooled.
Yo, listen. I'm getting nervous listening to this type of shit.
You should be that. You should get that. You
That's
should
what-
get your issue.
Marriage is honorable. You ain't got to worry about nothing like that.
You ain't
Abby.
got
Oh, man.
You ain't got to, but you got to, man, because they doing it out there.
Yeah, sick.
They doing that to people.
They
And
tricking
now
brothers out
somebody end up dead.
He said marriage is honorable.
Somebody end up dead because now they made that stuff legal for people to do. And
Nah.
then that person go right back into the system. Free slave labor.
Yep, yep.
It's a revolving door.
How you gonna blame him on it? He said, if it wasn't for them, I'd never be in this jail if it wasn't for this fruit pop. Damn Transformers, man.
Decepticon.
For real, yeah.
Bro,
Nah,
Deception.
no, for real. That was the best name they ever came up with. Decepticon, bro. Deception. Yeah, man. I don't think we got to look up that last thing, but it's all right. But I think that's all we got tonight, y'all.
Bro, that
Real
was
talk.
a hell of a show, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, hey, my man Luis, man.
Man,
He
Luis
was
is
bringing
Shout out
dope.
to Luis.
Yeah,
He
for
was
real.
bringing out
Bring him
that
back
stuff
on
right
and
there,
just
man.
Yeah.
take his conversation and filter it through the Bible, bro.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it was
for
excellent,
sure.
man. Hey, and we don't want y'all tuning off just yet. We got to show y'all something. Our next week's guest, man. Bring that up right now
Put it
while we
up
got these people
on the screen.
Y'all don't go nowhere. We got something
If
special
you
for y'all
love the
next
show
week.
tonight, you just wait.
Yeah, next week gonna be
We
crazy.
coming with some
Y'all
historical
better bring
history
all your. It's going
out the biblical Bible. What that one
out
you
the
said for
biblical
your,
Bible,
what's
out
that
your
one-
mental mind.
for your mental mind.
Yeah. All right. Next week, y'all. All right. We got Fred Price Jr. on here. Right. We calling it right now. This is not nothing he said, but this is something that we saying. It's Fred Price Jr. creating a new religion. The reason we say this, okay, and this is not anything he said. We're just putting it out there for y'all, as a title, only because he's a Christian and he believes that he's an Israelite.
Yeah.
But he said he believes the history, but he does not believe the doctrine, right? Which is kind of strange because if you believe in the history, that automatically is going to knock out the Christian doctrine.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
The history's telling you who the Jews are. So now once you got that, that's going to change the entire outlook of the scriptures. All right? Hey, y'all got that little piece? Play that little piece before we go. We want the people to see.
Yeah.
Y'all better tune in. Get everybody who y'all know to tune in. It's going to be crazy.
Saying some stuff like that, he trying to pull people out to put that little hat on.
Oh, no.
Not the little hat.
Yeah, that hat can't go on, bro.
The napkin?
Yeah. No.
The napkin?
No. That little hat, that's not going to work.
Nah, man. Because
For real.
soon as that Edomite start applying a little pressure, they get to twitching their tune.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's gonna be hard for a rich man to get there, man.
Yeah.
Because the person that's providing that bread for you, they be like, yeah, man, what's that you said? Nothing, boss.
Yeah. Real talk. Go ahead.
Discovering that you're an Israelite, I mean, that's awesome, but it's irrelevant to your
Ooh.
salvation.
Ooh, I can't. Every time I hear it, I got to pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all, that is not true. Okay?
Definitely not.
And we'll deal with it next week. All right? Go ahead.
That's not going to save you.
Oh, it's so weird.
And
That is a big part of your salvation, actually.
Yes, it is.
That's the
All right.
prerequisite.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good word, bro.
Yeah, you gotta know that.
A prerequisite. Go ahead.
Here's the sad part. They try to keep the law.
Let's go there.
Word?
Hold on, pause. What are you talking about?
He don't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah, he said, let's go there.
He don't want to go there.
Yeah.
That's why you have conversations with him and not us.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
could go there.
Yeah, I mean, this guy right here who got this show, he's got, I keep forgetting his name. I think his name is Ezekiel, but I don't know what the name of his show is. I always forget it. But he said something that was weird. He said, well, I'm glad I have you here because I've always wanted to talk about this subject. So why you ain't reach out to Bishop Nathaniel, homeboy? You want to talk about the Israelites with a guy who's not claiming to be an Israelite per se, right? He's not really following it. So why wouldn't you just go get the man, right? You see a brother on TV. Oh, this brother, okay, he's teaching. He got this organization. Let me get him on the show. Talk to him.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Because he don't want the truth.
Right.
That'll set him free.
No, because the Bible is coming out.
You know it.
Right.
You already know him.
You know what I mean? It's like when Bishop went on, what's that cool name? Jason Whitlock.
Oh man, he had that dude hot.
Yeah,
He was
Jason
like,
Whitlock
"I
was just
hoping you
getting
wouldn't pull that out."
smashed over the head with scriptures.
He said, "I was hoping you wouldn't pull that out."
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the soft white underbelly. I'm talking about when he was on Jason Whitlock.
Jason
show.
Whitlock,
yeah,
the fat dude.
yeah, the fat coon. You know what I mean?
Fat coon.
He was over there getting smashed over the head with scriptures. Then after he got put up out of there, right? Then he went and got all right. Bishop was off the show. Then he went and got them other guys. I forgot the name of that group with that other Israelite group, and they came in there talking some kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya, and he like, yeah, y'all guys are really good. This other guy, what?
Yeah, because he didn't want to hear.
Yeah, he didn't want to hear no Bible. They ain't had no Bible out.
Man, I think we just found another species of a raccoon called the fat coon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we ain't happy with none of that.
Nah.
But hit play though.
We're supposed to be following Jesus. How are we gonna like reject Jesus by not doing what he did?
Let's start with
Pause, boy. Oh,
That
boy.
makes no
You want to
sense.
bring it out so bad.
What?
That makes no sense.
Hey, man, we're gonna have to invite Ezekiel up to this show afterwards. Say, Ezekiel, what exactly are you talking about, bro?
Right.
Man.
Ezekiel, can you tell us what did Jesus do? Because guess what? We're gonna tell you what he did. He kept the commandments.
Yes, he did.
What are you talking about?
And he
said,
taught the commandments.
He taught them. He kept the Passover. He kept all the high holy days, Ezekiel. How come you don't know that? Ezekiel said, how are you going to try to keep the law when you're going against everything Jesus taught? No, Jesus taught the law.
That's what he taught.
Yeah. Hit play.
You hire me, build you a swimming pool, and I give you all the specs and the details. This is what I'm going to do. And it's in the contract, and you sign it. I do my work. I show you that it's done. You're pleased with the work, and it is then established that I have fulfilled my obligation. I satisfied the contract. All requirements met. Jesus fulfilled, satisfied, all requirements met. It is finished. His work as the son of Abraham, finished. The law of Moses, the only one who could keep all 613 laws, not one human could keep the whole law. Only Jesus could.
I know where it says it, but we'll do it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it later.
Yeah, we gonna have to, bruh.
Yeah,
he thought because he said fulfilled like that, that he was believable.
Right.
Fulfilled.
Yeah.
Confident misinformation.
No, real
Man,
talk.
Bruh.
I'm just
Strong and wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And family, I'm telling you, make sure y'all tune in next week. It's gonna be a heck of a show. Lord's will. Our brother, and we got love for the brother. I don't want y'all thinking like we got some problem with him.
No, we don't.
You know, we don't have no problem with him. It's just like how we deal with all of our people. You know what I'm saying? We come and we showing y'all the scriptures out of the Bible, period. There's nothing else going on. We're not coming with our own thought processes. You're not going to hear us say, well, we think that.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that. When something is said, we're going to have the answer right here.
Yeah.
And that has to be explained. So make sure y'all here next week, 8:30 p.m.
We gonna be handing out all type of conditional love.
Right.
Brotherly love, tough love.
Tough love. Y'all crazy, man. Brotherly love, tough love. Oh, man. All praises. So, yeah, y'all. Oh, damn, we almost forgot. We got into it. We're so happy about next week. All right. So don't forget the Booster Club, Isaiah 11:11 project, y'all. All right. All over the earth, gathering the 12 tribes back together, like we were telling our brother earlier, Lewis. All right. And with y'all help, y'all see what's going on. Y'all seen all the videos. Like about a month ago, we had like it was 1 million videos showing y'all the work that's putting in. Y'all money is not going to waste. All right. So all praises, man. It helps us with the airfare, the food fare. All right. The hotel fare, all that. All right. So all praise to the Lord. Help us out. Give what you can. All right. And if you didn't hit us on the super chat, we got our QR code right here for PayPal. That's iuic.norcal@israelunite.org. All right. Give as you can. All right. Also, please like, share, subscribe. What else I'm missing?
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment, please.
Comment on comment.
Comment on comment. Next week when we bring the pastor up, man, make sure y'all in that chat. You know what I'm saying? And hey, it's gonna be a real lovely night. Yeah.
And make sure when y'all liking the video, it's 200 and some people in there.
Yeah. Yeah, hit that like button, y'all.
Like it right then and there.
Yeah, for real. Just hit that thumbs up. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be an excellent show next week. I'm telling y'all right now. Y'all want to be there. It might go a little bit longer than 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Oh man, this is gonna be great.
Overtime.
Yeah, Lord's will.
Great, man.
Yeah, Lord's will. Everything work out. You know, and the Most High allow it to happen. And it's gonna be an excellent exercise in biblical Bibling.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great, man.
Yeah, man. So, officer, take us out, bro.
You got it?
Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
If you do this thing again, we got to lay hands on you. If you don't support the Booster Club right here, we got to lay hands on you. Hey, and if you keep on letting your kids listen to this funky rap music, if you keep on letting them look at TV and let the TV raise them, we got to lay hands on you. Hey, this is the show. We are your hosts. This is the Nehemiah Squad. We got the mighty Captain Zaccai. I'm Officer Shim. That's Officer Judah. We out.
All praise. Most High Christ bless y'all.
Yeah.
Shalom.
From even to even, spend holy days away from the heathen. I need a break, I don't need a reason. I need a script, I don't need your grievance. Keep it to yourself, it's better for my health. Leave it on the shelf, ain't hearing nothing else. Tonight ain't the night, knowing the price. Pay it off with my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call them Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. Flex on occasion. It's the strangest of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. Them chariots coming invasion since the creation. War, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bombs dropping, but